Howdy do everyone, my name is Angie, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of Our Life. This is the Monday Book Club, and we are on part 19. This has been a long going series. I knew it would be long going into this, but 19 parts was not in my prediction. So, we are on the first batch of the DLC, being Derek's DLC. This has been kind of, heavily anticipated by a few viewers, Space. Welcome in, everyone. Welcome in, Censored. Alright, Space. Already told you, yeah, arguing over, whether Cove is brittle-boned or not. As always, the Cove haters come in. We have the Cove defenders and the Cove push him aside for Derek. And then we have team not Baxter anywhere. No one... We all stand united apparently on not Baxter. Anyways. So, let's read chat before going in. For anyone that is new to Monday Book Club, I just read visual novels. I can kind of slow down and read chat a lot more in these ones. It's a little bit slower. We kind of get chaotic in chat sometimes, and I basically let you guys choose what you want to do in these games. If you comment before me, you can choose whatever you want in the options. Definitely not Baxter. That's what I thought. Most people in here are very anti-Baxter, yep. Chaotic is an underestimate. Yep, it can get pretty chaotic over here. To be fair, this visual novel is fairly tame. It's like, a cutesy romance one. I decided, I'd start my channel with, like, this cutesy romance visual novel, and it would all be fine, and somehow it ends up, like, as some of the most chaotic stuff on this. You guys get me talking about stuff so off topic that, like, I don't even know how it started. Anyways. I'm in a mood today. Not a bad one, just, like, tired. I'm so tired, guys. I'm preparing for Sunday. If you guys didn't see the announcement, I'm going to have the 100 subscriber special on Sunday. I'll announce that again at the end of this episode. Hi, Oliver. Everyone say hi to my cat. Oliver decided to join us. All right. With that being said, we're just going to get into this. So, in order to do this, we're back in middle school. Picture Cove. Well, Cove is still our crush because I didn't go back to change that settings. That would require me going too far back. Cove is still our crush. However, we have entered an alternate dimension where we're no longer maining for Cove. Instead, we're going for Derek, our other best friend. In fact, we're pushing Cove to the side. He doesn't matter anymore. So, that's where we're at. Let's go into this with responsible. The pool of Derek's condo complex was a perfect setting for the late morning outing. It was early enough that the day hadn't yet reached its hottest. The air still held the crispiness of morning. The crispness of morning. Why did I say crispiness? That doesn't make sense. Alright, the air still held the crispness of morning. Despite its pleasantness, only you and Derek were there. Crispy morning, that's right! Ooh, now I want fried chicken for some reason. Of course, given the location of the ocean, maybe everyone else who felt like waterside fun was at the beach. You usually were. I mean, with Cove being our best friend, that seems likely. Also, the beach is like right down the street from us, so... Man, I would be there every single day, but then again, I live in the ocean, so... Well, I guess I am there every single day. Hello, how are you today? I'm doing good. What happened to the wedding DLC? I decided that we'd end our life with the wedding DLC. Instead of, ending with, with Baxter, which is where this was going, I decided we'd do the rest of the DLC first and then end with Cove. Since, we started with Cove, we'll end with Cove. Also, most of this chat seems very anti-Baxter. That's the reason. The warm roughness of tiles felt odd on your bare feet as you walked further into the pool area. There was no sand to squish between your toes or sharp shells to avoid. What's the point then? What's even the point? You surveyed the area while Derek finished putting his stuff away on the chair. The chlorine was sharp in your senses and the entire space was orderly. Man, I sure love how fast chaos can happen in chat. It can! It can go by pretty fast. Sometimes it's like really chill and everything is like going like pretty slow and we're just reading the novel. And then sometimes it just like opens the floodgates and everything goes chaotic. It's usually caused by one of my mods somehow. Sometimes not. But usually staring at space right now, my mods have something to do with it. Alright, for the Derek DLC, I want you to do a fun dynamic of how to train your dragon. I'm not very good at implementing the AU stuff into the story. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah. Yeah, space? Yeah? You wanna go with that narrative? You wanna go with you don't know what I'm talking about? Just waiting for it to happen so I can say something useless in the middle of it. I'm innocent, you're not innocent. This is slander. Yeah. That's the narrative you want to go with? This is slander? I'm gonna pull up just a compilation of all the times my mods have sabotaged me. Okay. Have I read this yet? I don't remember. I'll read it anyway. You surveyed the area while Derek finished putting his stuff away in the chair. I did, because chlorine. I remembered chlorine. That poison that kills me. A jury would never convict. I have witnesses here. That would need a whole video in itself, Angie. I could make an entire series with space. In fact, tune in soon. There might be something coming that I've been teasing for a very, very long time with a certain space. She would know nothing about that. Lounge chairs sat in neat rows, umbrellas spaced out uniformly. The depth of the pool was marked out in clear text along the sides. Every single element was intentionally and expertly crafted to be convenient for its human visitors. It was extremely different for the wild mistress of the sea. What? Human visitors? Just the human visitors? What about me? What about the non-human visitors? This is discriminatory. Discriminatory. What am I doing? What type of joke was that? Okay. Quit stalling and get to my boy. I'll stall as much as I want. It's because this is your boy that I'm stalling. On that note, I'm gonna take a tea break. Anyone know any good YouTube videos around? I might like put one on for a second. All right. I will continue on, space. Let's see. Who's not a fan of the pool or the beach? People that don't swim? What is this world coming to? Have you seen my question? Maybe? Let me go back. Well, Derek and his brothers have night furies like Cove. I have no idea, man. I'm gonna be honest with how to train your dragon stuff. I don't really know, that much. I know, like, the basics. I've watched the movies, but, like, the different types of dragons and stuff, I don't really know. Space, your name should be Spice. Spice Casery. It flows so well. It got so boring. I need a funny YouTube video to keep my audience distracted. Obviously. Hold on, I'm gonna put on like a TikTok compilation. Will that get you guys? Maybe if I jiggle some keys. I don't have keys around. Hold on, maybe I have coins. I'll put like a, one of those, subway chasers on. Maybe. Well, you guys, if I put that at the bottom of the screen, and then I'll do like a story time video over it before we start the visual novel. I don't have to put up with this. What do you mean you don't have to put up with this? You're my mod. What do I buy you milk tea for? I can just leave. I have the power. No, wait, don't leave. You're so pretty. Hold on. You're probably gonna put a screen of Subway Surfers. That holds 50% of the screen. Yeah! 50% of the screen, and then I'll play the rest of the visual novel like that. That's how I keep all of your attention in this day and age. Oh man, I think I just insulted, like, a number of people there. For, like, all intents and purposes, this is a joke. Please do not get offended by anything I say. I'm just BSing everything. Oh, you're right. Where's Buff Cove? Hold on. This isn't about Cove. This is about Derek, but, like, Cove can join us. Our main guy here. The real protagonist of this story. Who we've been romancing for 18 episodes. Our boyfriend. We'll just put him in the corner here. He can watch us for cheating on him, I guess. Have Oliver knock over your computer. Wait a second. What do you mean Oliver knock over my computer? We don't want to relive that. Oh my gosh. Put the Elden Ring gameplay. If I can play Elden Ring, I need to afford it first. Anyways, he doesn't need to be here. Get rid of him. No, why would I get rid of him? You guys said you wanted him for every video. Why would he leave? He's our handsome, buff boyfriend. We just got engaged to him last episode and then went back in time and pretended it didn't happen because we're romancing someone else. Hey, Angie, why is Cove there? Why is he not in a wheelchair? Look, does he look like he needs to preserve his bones to you? Josh, does he look like he needs to preserve his bones? You tell me. We're not dumping Cove. We never dated him in the first place. But the one that we're engaged to is just going to watch us do this. Are we into wonderful lifing him? I don't know. I haven't seen that. What does he have the anchor arm? Inflatable arms from SpongeBob. Because he's our very strong boyfriend and censored. That's why. That was a perfect explanation. Thank you for including that. What would I do without you, censored? Cove, my beloved fiance. Yes, exactly. Beloved fiance, Cove. Angie, oh my god. What's the oh my god for this time? I tend to get that a lot. It's because his arms are swollen. Angie can do one of her shrill screams. Is that what I'm becoming known for? Screaming? Oh god, I really am making it as a YouTuber. That can be the ringing bell. I really need to read the entire comment before I go off on my jokes. Anyways, yes, I'll set my screams as the wedding bell. Poor Cove finally cucked by Derek. We've only talked about that since Derek has entered in this game. What am I saying? What was that? Angie, what was that? You stuttering already? We're not even like 3 minutes in this game. Anyway, Space, have we stalled enough for you? I can stall more. All right. Well, obviously the answer is that beaches are the best. Beaches are the best. It's the ocean. The ocean is the best place. So yes, I love the ocean. I mean, pools are fine, but pools are, they have chlorine, and typically that's not good for fish, I love how the whole stream is just going to be chat being chaotic and like barely interaction of the game itself. That's welcome to Monday Book Club. Welcome to the Monday Book Club. 50% of the chat messages are censored. Hey, those are so insightful, man. Truly, truly. All right. This pool was too tame. Like it was some kind of big bathtub, and the chemical smell was off-putting. Exactly! Exactly. Oh, please stall a little more. What do you intend on doing on your time away from the channel? I'm going to the ocean! I'm going to the ocean! I finally was able to get some time off, and so I'm going to the sea. So that's what my vacation is gonna be. I've spent a little too long away from the ocean. I need the water. Angie, what are you doing out of your chlorine pool? It burns! The water burns me. It's not safe water. I don't want to be here. Water. I love how Space has just stopped responding now. She's probably drawing, though. Take your bet she's drawing like Derek or something. All right. Beaches had so much more than just water. Where were the hidden treasures? The wide open space and vast horizon. Exactly! Pools made sense when the ocean was 1,000,000 miles away, but you didn't really have a use for it with the beach basically being in your backyard. Those sensors are what gives life to this channel. Exactly! What would we do without the sensors? Alright, listen, was I right? I love that Space has finally stopped talking. Oh, I really did word it that way, huh? Hold on. That's not the way I meant it. Well, actually, you can take full offense by that, Space. What's funnier? I'll do whatever's funnier. Censored for all of you. Yes! The most important dialogue we have here on this channel. I create a Night Fury for Nicholas, Derek's younger brother. I haven't met his younger brothers yet. No spoilers. I've never played the DLC. This is a little confusing because I played all of the rest of our life before, and so I was fully fine with spoilers for like the rest of it. But I've never played any of the DLC besides the wedding one, so this is like a little bit of an awkward spot. It's not, Okapi, I don't blame you for that at all. That was, I should have said something at the beginning of this. I really should have. I've allowed spoilers this entire time because I've played this before, but this is the one thing I haven't played, and I have not, articulated that. You're fine, Okapi. It is not your fault. That is on me. I should have told you sooner. Alright. Pools made sense when the ocean was 1,000,000 miles away, but you didn't really have a use for it when the beach was basically in your backyard. Alright, see you later, Tarnished. Do some research to spoil things. Got it. Can't wait to see what insightful things you bring back to us. I mean, the world is basically, it could end in this game. That's the genre, right? Portable beach in the backyard. Yeah, basically. That's what most pools are, kind of, right? They're like portable beach. That's how I understand them. As a fish. If anybody makes fun of Angie, you will be in the timeout chair. Yes! Exactly! No one is allowed to make fun of me or call me stupid. Gotta be full of censored. Yeah, exactly. You always know the words to say, man. He's one of the Avengers? Oh my god. Man, guys, stop spoiling me. Seriously, this is gonna... man, you're gonna ruin the entire thing. Time out, what do you mean time out, Angie? Oh my god. I'm gonna ruin my voice before I even, like, get halfway through this. Cute buff Cove reminds you. Mind you of something else. I see. Let's see. Yeah, I think, no, I have not read this yet. All right. This has been Derek's plan. He let you know about it ahead of time, so you could be dressed for the occasion. What? Huh? Angie, did you do something wrong to put you in? I didn't do anything wrong. I'm innocent. I'm always innocent. I haven't done anything. You can't find the bodies, even if I tell you. I'm gonna drink more tea for a second. I think I said something my lawyer would advise against. Yeah, I should probably say, I'm gonna be a little more strict on rules recently. I made a full list, but they have not come out yet. I will be going over them soon. But yeah, my mods are going to be, like, looking out for a few things. They'll tell you, though. They'll tell you. Like, no one's getting banned or anything yet. It's just, you know, they'll tell you what's up. Alright. The body is going to cause censored. Yeah. Damn, if it was not for Suncloud Cove, would probably have died to Derek this time. Oh, man. The How to Train Your Dragon verse coming into the R Life verse. I never would have guessed. Angie, as your lawyer, I'm advising you to keep saying that stuff. Okay! I love talking about that stuff. Yeah, no timeouts for rule breaking. That you didn't know. That's right. So, like, my mods will tell you, and later on, I will be going over all of the rule changes. So, like, don't worry too much or anything. Alright. I'm already, like, losing everything I'm doing. What is my mood today, man? What is my mood today? Okay. I just looked over and seeing Buff Cove just staring at me blankly. He's just over there staring like, are you really doing this, Rain? Are you really going to go with Derek? Yes, we are! Please put on the rule 3 that spikes are comfy, battery acid is the best drink, enemies want hugs. Yeah, that's right. That's the Hollow Knight rules. It's like a special iteration for the Hollow Knight stuff. Then in chat wants 7, look. Alright. You look over, there's 100% for a censored. I see. Yeah, that makes sense. Let's see. Oh, that cute little Derek head, empty like usual. Derek's not here yet. We haven't even gotten to Derek. Space must be thrilled. Alright. This had been Derek's plan. He let you know about it ahead of time, so you could be dressed for the occasion. Okay, we're like 13? We're like 13? Wetsuit. We're in a wetsuit. That's the funniest option. It's gotta be the wetsuit. Alright. Buff Derek and Buff Baxter. I would love to see both of those, actually. I would love to see Space's rendition of Buff Derek and Buff Baxter. And then Angie would put them together in the JoJo's. Oh my gosh, awaken my R life. Oh my god. Can you imagine? Space, if you're listening to this, listen, hear me out. Sweatsuit in summer, dehydrated 20 times faster. True, but like just go in the water, it's great. I mean, the chlorine's not that great, but. Okay, Oh my god. We can be in a wetsuit and shorts. Or a t-shirt and shorts. Oh, both of those are funny. Oh, both of those are really funny. I wish we could do all of them, honestly. I'll do the t-shirt and shorts. Buff emotional support dog. Sorry, I'm not paying attention to what y'all are saying because Derek isn't here yet. Ah, come on! You have the opportunity to do something so funny right now. Your swimming gear was familiar, even if the pool wasn't. You felt prepared. I love that this sentence implies that this is what we usually wear when we go out to swim. Even more dehydrated. We're comfortable is what we are. Derek bounded up to you in his own swim trunks, flagrantly ignoring the no running signs in his enthusiasm. Watch, I'm gonna do a cannonball. As soon as he knew he had your attention, he took off into the deep end of the pool. He built up speed and then leapt into the water, his curled up body creating a huge splash on impact. JoJo-related space. Derek, there, he's here. Now you can pay attention. So, anyways, Tarnished, give Space your pitch here. Give Space your elevator pitch on how she should draw this. I leave it all to you. I'm sure you're very capable. The rest of chat, feel free to back him up. You know, be his hype man. Splash of chlorine water. That's right. Splash of chlorine water. And desperation of censored. All right. Let's see. Obviously we're cheering, right? Obviously we're cheering. Go, Derek! Even though he couldn't hear you from the bottom of the pool, you celebrated the show. He stayed under for a while longer. He touched the pool's bottom before he kicked himself back upward. When Derek's head popped out of the water, he swam to the edge of the pool and propped himself up with a grin. He watched you expectantly. Let's see. Well, as much as I don't want to drop in to the chlorinated water, well, I guess we can, like, jump in or whatever, even though the beach is better. And, you know, chlorine kind of burns everything because I'm a fish and it's not recommended to put your fish in chlorinated water. Let's jump in. All right. Welcome, Eli. I just finally looked over at chat. This suddenly appeared in my recommended. Cool. Have a like. Thank you. We're still talking about the buff chibis. Absolutely, we're still talking about the buff chibis. Look at this. Look at this absolute unit. Come on. This is the best chibi anyone could receive. And he's just gonna be watching us. Watching us from the corner. Good day to you and goodbye. See ya. Have a good day. Hi there again. Just passing by to leave a like and leave. Bye. Bye. Have a good day. A lot of people passing in and liking and leaving. That's fine. I wish all of you a great day. Take care of yourselves. Drink water. Don't run in the halls. Get plenty of sleep. What else can I say? What else can I add to this? All right. Oh, let's see. Chlorine water censored. Wouldn't recommend. Yeah, don't recommend it. Don't recommend it. It's not good for your fish. Like Derek, you gave yourself a bit of a running start. You reached the end, took a deep breath, and leapt as far as you could. Frigid water burst. What did that? What did I say? What was that? What? None of that made sense. Okay, retry that. Take two. We're gonna do that one again. Frigid water burst around you, feet first, but soon covering you entirely. Sparkle on. It's only your first strike. Always remember to be yourself. Those are good ones. Those are very good ones. No running in the halls. Totally not Baldy's basic reference. I think no running in the halls was a thing before Baldy's basic, but like, I guess that could be a reference. Sparkle off. It is your... I can't read past that because Streamlabs cut off your comment. Hold on. I'm gonna have to expand. I have to do everything myself and expand out the chat because Streamlabs decided not to. Annoying. Alright, sparkle off. It's your 26th strike. Forget who you are. Oh, man. I think we're back on to where I said chat starts getting crazy. We've just kind of, like, barely touched that. So, let's see how much more crazy we can get. We're only 32 minutes and we haven't even gotten, like... we haven't even gotten a little bit into this. No running in the halls is actually an extremely rare and niche reference to how running in the halls was discouraged at school. Ooh, man. Do people still go to institutions like that? I thought they went extinct, like, ages ago. How old are you, Space? Alright. You sunk lower into the depths and began to kick. You breached the surface and sucked in the fresh air. You noticed two things. One, that the water wasn't actually freezing when you got used to it, and two, that Derek was clapping for you. Thank you. You should applaud me. Nice. You got some serious airtime. I give it a 10 out of 10. That's weak, Derek. Don't give me a pity 10 out of 10. I need to earn that dive. Crazy? I was crazy once. They locked me in a rubber room with rats, and rats make me crazy. Crazy? I was crazy once. They locked me in a rubber room with... Why'd you end it, man? I was gonna keep going. Hey, Angie, if you're not old enough to remember schools, you might not be old enough to stream. What? Wait. Hold on. How old am I? What was my age again? What did I say? Hold on. Where are my notes? Oh, crap. I forgot my notes. I'm a fish. Anyways. What am I doing this episode? What is this episode? What is this episode? Is this just the stupid humor episode? Okay. As you enjoyed the moment, your thoughts fell back to how you'd gotten here. Last night, Derek had called with a different sort of request. You remembered that his voice had been a mix of nerves and hope. He had a favor to ask, why am I putting in there? There's no very unexpected for him. You're crazy. You aren't level 5 and saw censored. So yeah. I don't know that reference. Let's see. Derek's mom needed him to watch his little brothers in the afternoon. It wasn't anything out of the ordinary, but that was part of his problem. Lately, he had feared that his sport skills weren't as sharp as he wanted them to be. He hadn't been able to practice soccer. What is happening? Have I lost my ability to read? What is going on? I became literate somehow in the ocean. I'm working on that part. Anyways, I'm filling in the lore slowly. I'll work on that. Anyways, why can't I read? Lately, he had feared that his sports skills weren't as sharp as he wanted them to be. He hadn't been able to practice soccer or football without the distraction of keeping an eye on his brothers. BRB, am hungry. Only had some Subway grocery store food. Yeah, I'm suddenly remembering that I've only eaten like some egg rolls I made earlier, and that was it. I had coffee this morning too. Nope, that was it. That's all I've eaten so far. This stream is gonna go great for me. His idea to fix this had been to ask you for help watching the kids. If you agreed to go to the park with him and his brothers, then you could manage his brothers while he had a chance to focus on practice. That's how he explained it. You said yes, and your moms had been more than happy to let you spend the day playing support for Derek. They said it would be a good opportunity to take on some more responsibility. To sweeten the deal, Derek suggested that you came by early so that you could both hit the pool. Nicholas would be sleeping in, and George could spend some one-on-one time with Mr. Suarez. Suarez? I'm not good with names. Okay. So, if I got this straight, we got roped in to play babysitter for pool time. Not even the ocean. Or, like, I guess we got roped into babysitting because we're good friends and wanted to help out our friend. But no, that's not the narrative I'm going. That's too wholesome to be the narrative I'm going with. Suarez? Okay. So far, the plan had worked out. Ma dropped you off about 15 minutes ago, and both of Derek's brothers were fully occupied. Mrs. Suarez and George were back in the condo, putting together an 800-piece puzzle in the kitchen counter while Nicholas snoozed on the couch. You had time to kick back before the moment came to be in charge of the small children. Ah, yes, Angie, in charge of small children. This can only mean good things. Yes, leave your children to me. Everything will be fine. There is no need to panic. A sloshing sound pulled you back to the present. Derek had climbed out of the pool. I'm gonna jump in again. Want to join? Let's see. Yeah, sure. Let's jump in. That seems to be the better option here. You copied Derek's exit from the pool. It took arm strength and caution not to scrape yourself on the texture of the concrete. Once on solid ground, you reversed away from the edge to give yourself enough space for a good jump. Poised to go, you and Derek made eye contact. He leaned forward, bouncing on the balls of his feet. I've already done one. It's your turn. Hey, I jumped in. Ooh, oh, we can show off. We can do a true 10 out of 10 dive here. Okay, this is important. Oh, you can be cute and jump in at the same time. Oh. Let's see. You walked to the edge of the water. You cartwheeled into the pool. Those are all good. God, he's so short. Yeah, he is. I mean, to be fair, we're like 13. Isn't he like a year younger than us? I can't remember. I don't remember if Derek's supposed to be 12 right now or not. I know that our character is 13, though. He might be 13 and just really short. I don't remember. Okay. Okay. Belly flop is always a good option. Cannonball. Backflip, that's impressive. Well, no one said anything, so I guess it's up to me. Do a cartwheel. Gotcha. All right. You position yourself carefully before springing into action. I wasn't done. You ran, and then launched off on one foot while starting to raise your hands. What is happening right now? I am losing all ability to speak. What is happening right now? Am I having a stroke? Okay. I'm gonna drink some tea. And it's all gonna be fine. Howdy do, everyone. My name is Angie, and all of that just happened? Didn't. Got it? Didn't happen. Right, guys? It didn't happen. Moving on. The momentum carried into your body as you placed one hand sideways, and then the other struck the very edge of the pool. For a split second, you were bounced on your hands as your feet tumbled through the air. However, instead of finding solid ground, you landed in the water with a great big splash. What's in your tea? Ginger? And honey. BTW, if actually read my message about getting some food, I was probably long gone. I see, so you didn't see my reply. I'm not mad or anything. It's just, you know, I responded and everything and didn't get a response, and it's fine. It's okay. I get it. You can't always respond or anything. It's fine. It's cool. Moving on. Wow. You stretched out and reached up towards the surface, parting your arms to paddle over to dry land. Derek was laughing boisterously. It was his turn next. By the curve in his grin and the lift of his chin, he looked to be in a mood to impress. Censored. You always know what to say. What would I do without you? I'll go back a little just for you. Oh, thank you. It means so much. His eyebrows drew together in a deep furrow as he considered his launch. Derek took a few bounding steps to the edge, jumped up, and tucked his body in. Unlike his previous cannonball, the energy went into a spin, and he flipped, making a full rotation before he crashed through the surface. The water droplets from the splash dazzled you as they exploded out from his impact. He swam under the water and only came back up to the surface after he reached the wall of the pool. He snaked his hand up to the top of the tiles and pushed himself up so that his hips were even on the edge. He twisted and practically rolled out of the pool from there. Censored knows when censored is needed. That is exactly right. Man, you're so good with your words. You're up. Okay. Oh, we get to go again. Okay, we gotta make this super impressive. Okay, what do we... alright, we can do the cartwheel again. That's always a solid option. We could just, like, walk off the edge. That's always, like, you know, full fun little act and everything. Jump in. Solid option. Jump in together. That's so cute. I'm gonna vomit. He's like a fish. How could you not like him? Yeah, exactly. He's like a fish. Automatically, that makes him better than Cove. Oh. You didn't hear that, buddy. You didn't hear that, buddy. It's okay. It's like, I wasn't talking about you, Buff Cove. I wasn't talking about you. It's fine. Backflip it is. Alright, you backflipped into the pool. You planted your feet solidly on the edge of the pool, not facing the water. You bent your legs and prepared. You swung your arms back until, like a pendulum, you swung them forward. The moment your hand passed your knees, you jumped backwards. You tucked your body in tight as you turned all the way around before you hit the water. Whoa, that was awesome! You kept switching back and forth, trading off between silly jumps, then more impressive tricks. From watching Derek's well-practiced dives to performing your own jumps, there was never a boring second. After several leaps, Derek called a break time, and you took a breather at the back stairs of the pool. You waited for your strained heart rate to even out from all the exertion. After a pause of silence, Derek spoke up. He pulled his fist into his cheek in thought, squishing his face slightly. Shadow Cove is the besto. Yeah, we got engaged to him. Of course he's the best. Yeah, but we're gonna forget about him completely right now. Imagine if this game had wrong choices in which something bad happened. Yeah, this game doesn't have any bad options. It'd be interesting, but it doesn't. Derek is just staring at you from the left upper side. Yeah, they're both staring at me. They're both just staring at me. What happens if you flirt with Derek on every given opportunity and become enemies with Cove? Without the DLC, of course. Nothing. Nothing happens. You can be indifferent to Cove the entire game. Like, it just lets you. If you don't want to like Cove, you don't have to. Yeah, it's a whole thing. Yep, just that blank 1,000-yard stare. Okay. Hey, I probably should have asked before, but have you ever babysat someone before? Who do you think I am? I mean, wouldn't you trust your children with me? Come on. What could go wrong? I mean, yeah, give me your kids. Hold on. What is the funniest answer here? Not really anything like super funny besides does babysitting a dog count? Cove looks so sad and hurt that you're with Derek. Good. Oh man, Cove bullies back at it again. Alright, so, does babysitting a dog count? Derek chuckled and slapped his knee. Nicholas is above any puppy, but that's still something. But I'll be right there if anything goes down. You shrugged. At least his brothers probably wouldn't start chewing on random things. Right? You clearly don't know. You clearly don't know how children are. You clearly don't know how children are. Let's see. We're confident. We've got this. We've got this. There's nothing to be nervous about. You wanted to give Derek some assistance, and watching his brothers sounded fun. After that interlude, you both continued to enjoy yourselves and your freedom until a little beeping alarm went off. That's time! He made his way to the lounge chair with his stuff and dug out a small portable clock. It buzzed until he found the stop button. Derek checked the time and narrowed his eyes at the glowing red numbers. He shot you a thumbs up. Is that when we were still Beehive Boxing Champion? Oh man, buddy, have I got news for you. Josh, do I have news for you? You know, we grew up to be like 21 and we got back into it. We took up the reins again. Our career is back on the table. Also, this route takes place during middle school when we were still Beehive Boxing Champions. You know, we just had a short retirement, but we're back at it. We're back at it. Oh, man. Also censored. I see why you were never hungry. Oh. Let's see. Why have I never noticed that your username is Joshua 5003? Like, I've always seen Josh and then I just stopped there. What did happen to the other 5003? Censored was making the joke and I was just like, man, am I missing something? What am I not seeing? I've just noticed your username. He ate them. That's my job. That was my thing. Josh, that was my story. That was my backstory. What are you, Josh? What are you? Let's see. And Joshua 5004 is coming for him. Whew. Well, if his name changes, we know what happened. We know what happened. I ate the other 5002 for power. Someday 5004 will come for me. It's the natural order of things. That does make sense. Yeah, that sounds right. If Derek was an animal, will he be a capybara? I love that conversation turn. I can see a capybara. I can see that. That's a pretty cute one with like his hair color and everything. I could see that. Josh has the opportunity to do something absolutely hilarious right now. Does that mean I'd have to make you mod all over again? Alright. Alright, let us continue. We read that. Let's go up! You helped him gather the towels, grab the rest of the stuff, and then tried to drip as little as possible while rushing through the halls of the complex. When you reached his apartment, he dumped everything in his arms on the ground and scrambled to find his key. Just give me a second. I don't want to knock or anything in case Nicholas is still asleep. He finally spied his soccer ball keychain and snatched up the keys from where they were tangled in his towel. I am unpredictable as fuck. Yep. Am. Trying to read things as stupid as possible. Hold on. I'm gonna drink tea again. This is what happens when you get little sleep. This is what happens. I stopped making sense completely. Resisting the urge to change my name to Joshua 1. Good luck with that. I think Joshua 1 has already expired. Alright. He inserted the key into the lock and both of you shuffled inside the Suarez home. 3 heads swiveled to face the 2 of you, gazes being drawn to the bundles of neon towels coming in. Mrs. Suarez, wow, I'm already back to not being able to say the name, and George were sitting on bar stools while Nicholas perched on the counter itself with an excited grin. They were working on a puzzle. On your left, Derek leaned closer and spoke under his breath. He's awake. Oh my god! He's adorable! Oh, that is cute! That's cute! This little thing right here is adorable! Oh my god! Oh my god, that's so cute! That's one thing I'll give you, humans. Children are cute. Babies are cute too. Like human children and stuff are cute. But baby fish are also cute. Okay. We're singing Capybara. Yes! It's just a family of ankle biters. The best family! Quick as a blink, Nicholas scrambled on his hands and feet and zipped across the black marble of the counter. Tiny cardboard puzzle pieces scattered. Oh, he's cute! George is cute too! Oh my gosh, it's like Brock from Pokemon. Alright. Nicholas, the puzzle! Despite George's frustration, the little whirlwind didn't seem to hear. He was on a mission to reach his bigger brother, not even stopping when he hit the end of the counter. Nicholas stumbled off the edge, and Derek instinctively moved forward with a gasp, dropping all his pool stuff except for the towel wrapped around him. Mrs. Suarez caught Nicholas with her forearms, hooking around his chest, snatching him from midair. I'm already losing confidence in our ability to babysit. I love his family so much. They're adorable. Oof. She hugged her son, holding him securely against her body. A chorus of relieved sighs filled the room. Nicholas still paid no mind to his trail of disasters and began to squirm. He just wanted down it already. Derek took another few steps forward, making his way over to the scene. Mrs. Suarez carefully held Nicholas out, her hands under her armpits, and safely sat down on his feet. Nicholas immediately wrapped his arms around Derek's legs. Derek chuckled while tugging up at his towel so Nicholas wouldn't pull it off. Hold on, Nico. You're gonna get wet. Nicholas giggled mischievously and snuggled closer. Derek snuck a quick peek over his shoulder back at you and shrugged. I'm guessing they're as unpredictable as censored is. I'm guessing so. Hello, Oliver. Are you joining me? Hi. Hello, baby. I have a cat here now. All right. I know I said this before, but I made a Night Fury for Nicholas, Derek's little brother, and it has gray skin and dark blue eyes. How to Train Your Dragon never leaves. Lever! Yeah! He's here. He's here with us. Oliver, do you have anything you want to say? He's sleeping. He's sleeping. Alright, he says nothing. Alright, just as warned, Nicholas now had a damp splotch on his shirt. Let's see. Which one's funniest? Nicholas, I'm here too, you know. Love me too. He fell asleep the second he saw censored. That's right. That's right. Oliver, what have you seen? He just rolled over onto his back. That's so cute. Okay. Question for Angie in the chat. What would you guys like Nicola's Night Fury to be, male or female? I'm here too. Okay. I'll choose that real fast. Let's go with male. I don't think it really matters, but male works. Or Tarnish said female, so go with that. You know what? Chat rules. Chat rules over me. Alright. You smiled at Nicholas, trying to make it obvious that you were joking. He didn't respond, instead just continuing to latch to Derek. Ah, I see. I see how it is. Sure, I mean, I get it. He's your brother, and I get it. I get it. I get it. I can't be the favorite. I get it. Mrs. Spara's tone was warm with a certain amount of humor to it. She rubbed her hands together and stood up. Derek and Rain are in charge now. Make sure you listen to them. George sourly picked up the puzzle pieces, but gave a grumbled noise to signify he had heard. I'm going to head over to my appointment. I was about to be like, they have a different apartment? No, appointment. It said appointment. Okay. She went to gather some things, officially putting you and Derek in charge, but there wasn't 1 second to settle into your new position. Oh my god, those are the eyes of an insane person. If a child gave me that look when I was babysitting them, I would instantly panic and feel fear. This is the look of someone that's going to set the house on fire as soon as we have our backs turned. We're going swimming? Nicholas looked up and stared with huge, shining eyes. Derek reflexively stiffened. How would he escape the puppy dog look? Ah, yes, puppy dog. That's what I thought that was. That's exactly the vibe I get from that. Angie, I have 2 votes for male and 1 for female. Everyone can vote. So, go for... I said male, so go for that. Everyone can vote for it. That's the look of someone who saw censored, uncensored. Yeah, that looks like they saw something. We could teach him beehive boxing. That's right. We could teach him beehive boxing. Derek's eyebrows creased. A small sign of nerves compared to the smooth, placating sounds of his voice. No, even better. He leaned down and lowered his voice like he was about to share a secret. We're going to the park. Nicholas instantly frowned. He wasn't convinced by Derek's act. He grabbed at Derek's towel. You were swimming. Yeah, but I'm not anymore. I'm going to the park and you can come with me. Yeah, we're already off to a great start. The littlest Suarez whined and stomped his foot. His hands balled up around the neon fabric harshly enough he almost took the towel from Derek. I want to go to the pool. I want to see Rain's swimsuit. My wetsuit. My wetsuit? You want to see the wetsuit? Did I change out of it? Like, kid, you're looking at the swimsuit. The wetsuit with the shirt and shorts, this is the swimsuit. I think there might be some misunderstanding here. She wants to see the sweatsuit. Yeah! What? Derek's jaw dropped. Neither of you were prepared for that one. Yeah, I guess like hearing the child say, I want to see your swimsuit might be more of the shocking thing. I was just still just like, I'm wearing the swimsuit. It's this wetsuit you're seeing. Did you hear Nicholas writes? You looked down at yourself, currently wrapped up in a bright fuzzy towel. You switched your gaze to Derek's younger brother, your brain trying to make sense of what was happening. Why would you want that? Why does Nicholas want anything? George rolled his eyes and continued mumbling into the counter. It was obvious to him, and he couldn't believe the rest of you were taking so long to catch up. Because Derek does. That's a call out. That's a call out. I wonder if Derek was disappointed when we... Do you think Derek was disappointed when we showed up in a wetsuit and a t-shirt and shorts? Or did this just make his heart flutter more? That's what I want to know. Angie, have you seen what I put in chat? Let me look back. I'm not always the fastest with some chats. I do miss things occasionally. Just that the male one? Alright. What will the name of the Night Fury be? I'm bad with names. Someone come up with that. When did the other one show up? He's been here. How could you forget George? He's been there the entire time. You've already forgotten him? We've gotten to know this character so much already. Man, Tarnished, you really missed a lot. You've missed so much. There was that whole episode, I guess you just weren't there. Let's see. We'll be amused by that. I think that's pretty funny. Derek narrowed his eyes and whispered harshly, Nicholas, George, you're gonna put me into an early grave. Yeah, siblings calling each other out is the best. Tarnish really got early dementia, clearly. He took a deep breath as he stared at the ceiling. It took him a moment to face you. His voice was firm for someone at his level of embarrassment. I must have said something about hoping you'd remember to bring your swimsuit. I was excited for us to be able to swim, so I did want you to have one. Nicholas does not actually want to see you in a swimsuit. He doesn't even know why he'd want that. He's just saying stuff. You snorted and had to cover your mouth to stop yourself from laughing. Derek shook his head, still blushing, but he relaxed at your obvious amusement. Little kids were so funny. You snuck another look at Nicholas. He had crossed his arms high on his chest and squished his neck down, far enough from the rest of his chin to his wrist. I want to go swimming! His pout intensified when he had said it again. He was a very angry little baby. I've drawn your Derek, Angie. Which Discord did you send it to? She's fast. Send it to the wrong one. Yeah, you know which Discord to send it to. Hurry it up. Grayson? That sounds nice. Alright. Hold on, chat. Hold on. I'm gonna open up this beautiful picture. This absolute beautiful picture. Alright, we're gonna grab that. Wait, what am I doing? I don't have to do, I'm making this way too complicated. Alright. He truly is your baby boy. Grab an image. And here he is. That's our Derek. You really captured his height so well. You did. You really did. Kawaii. His kawaii face. It's so adorable. Look at him. Look at him. He might not be as bad as I thought. He's never been bad. Derek tilted back on his heels, once again driven to look at the ceiling by the strain of this kid. You glanced up there yourself without thinking about it. It was a calm white color with a few light fixtures. Did I just skip something? Yep. When you squinted, you noticed something small and green. It appeared to be one of those sticky hands for kids. Was this another present from the youngest Suarez? You turned back to Derek. He appeared to have made a decision. All right, I promise that you can go swimming too, but only after the park. Yep, he's just here now. What, you think I'm gonna take him off? No, this whole screen is gonna be filled with your drawing space. I could, like... Hold on. What am I... There we are. I could, like... So you guys just can't read. You guys just can't read now. There you go. There you go, space. There you go. Draw censored. Yeah. That's it. You gotta do Baxter next. You gotta do Baxter next, space. That way we can fill up the screen. He's so happy that we broke up Rain and Cove. Not broken up. Alternate universe. Alternate universe. Come on. Do it. You know you want to. We gotta complete the trifecta. We'll go to the pool as soon as we come back. With the promise officially made, Nicholas lit up. He snatched one of Derek's hands. Let's go! We gotta get to the park so I can swim! While Nicholas celebrated, Derek closed his eyes, and some of the worried creases on his face smoothed out. Derek, there's lunch packed in the fridge. Dad will be back before dinner. Gotcha. Thanks, Mom. Mrs. Suarez waved and collected the last of her things, her purse off at the side table. She ruffled George's hair on her way out. You and Derek were along with the kids. We should really stop leaving puddles everywhere. He gestured at the drops of water pooling at his feet. Put them in the next thumbnail. If she draws Baxter, I will put him in the next thumbnail. Depending. I should say, just like a SpongeBob meme there with his hands out. Depending! Depending! I do have a couple of space drawings about to go into thumbnails, though. Stay tuned. You nodded, feeling uncomfortable at not being fully dressed. You and Derek took turns changing. You went first while you could faintly hear Derek impressing on his brothers to listen to you too. Yep, that's the line reading. All right. And she draws censored. Make sure it's also on the thumbnail. Yep, absolutely. Hey Space, do you want to draw any of the anomalies? From Lobotomy Corp. Why did I lose the name? LobCorp. Do you want to draw any of those? Like a bird? A bird that happens, the Union? The Union ruining me? Oh man, I'm just over here like, draw for me, Space, draw for me. You do not have to actually draw for me because you do charge me. Not fully dressed as if we're not wearing a full wetsuit and tuxedo. Exactly! The Union rep? Yeah, exactly. The Union rep. Yowie. Interesting name for the Union rep. But yeah, the Union rep. How do you know about the bird? The Union rep? Yowie? Don't ignore me. I'm not ignoring you. Where did you put in chat? I don't see it. Oh, wait. Yes, I do. Angie, I put something on the chat about Nicholas's Night Fury. I remember you saying his name. I said it out loud. We're not talking about the same bird. What bird are you talking about? Don't answer. What bird are you talking about? Oh, man. Let's see. Yowie Uncensored would be a great thumbnail. That's something you'll have to figure out by yourself. Yep. All right. He must have convinced them to behave for now, as neither George nor Nicholas acted up when Derek took his turn drying off and clothing himself. Can you get our lunch from the fridge? I'm gonna pack my gear. No problem. You walked casually to the kitchen. George hadn't moved from the bar stool, even once since you'd gotten back. Meanwhile, Nicholas followed Derek like a possessed shadow that was even more energetic than the original. He zipped around, occasionally trying to place things in Derek's backpack for him. So far, Derek had said no to the rubber duck, but he had agreed to bring an extra pair of socks that Nicholas had determined were absolutely necessary. Let's see. I'm apparently missing a few. Poor Space, doomed to be in the art mine forever. She hasn't been free of it since middle school, when I used to bribe her with cookies. I answered it. What you gonna do? What? Huh? Answered what? Huh? Fun fact, Graysand is a baby Night Fury, but with the same age as Nicholas. I see. It's okay, one day I'll see the sun again. You keep telling yourself that. Yeah, you're literally Space. Hold on now. Wait a second. Don't you see the sun quite often? Okay. I feel like Derek's brothers are trying to sabotage his date. I don't know about sabotage, as in just like blatantly tell Rain what's going on. Alright. So far, Derek said no to the rubber duck, but he had agreed to bring an extra pair of socks. I already said that. Okay, got everything. Derek returned with a backpack in one hand and Nicholas's small hand in the other. We're going. George, ready, Rain? Yeah. Sure. He pushed away from the counter and finally hopped off the chair with the enthusiasm of a plank of wood. Ah, I see. Oh, man, Josh is fast. I, just saw that message go in. To be fair, it's a little delayed on mine, but... Oh, right. He's like a hero in making sure I don't get spoiled on things. Alright, let's see. Okay, I finished with Nicholas's Night Fury. Now time to build Jose's Night Fury. Is there another one? It's hard, but honest work. That's right. That's right. You're damn good at this job, soldier. Keep up the work. Alright, alright. Yeah, we did that. We're going! Derek hid his smile at Nicholas's echo and ushered everyone outside. He locked the condo behind him and began the trip to a nearby park. The park for the Suarez boys was the big park for your family. Their condo complex was only a short distance to the public outdoor recreational area your mom sometimes drove you to. It was still a beautiful day outside, and had only gotten a few degrees warmer from your morning swim. The field was bustling with other groups of people enjoying themselves. Derek led the way to a wide open part of the grass that no one else was using. He stopped in the middle of the field and turned 180 degrees to face the little boys behind him. He shrugged his backpack off of his shoulders and dropped it to the ground. He kneeled down to root around inside it, George and Nicholas waiting in place for their brother. Question for Angie and the chat. What color should George's Night Fury be? George. Chat can answer that again. I don't know. All right. I'm going to keep reading because if I keep stopping like this, it's going to be like another 5-hour stream. And I can't do that today. I have so much work I have to do. Derek gathered a couple of things in his arms before pushing off the ground with his knees to get up again. He held a football in his left hand and a soccer ball in his right. All right, Nicholas, George. I've got to practice, but you can too. Which do you want? Football. Real ball. You raised an eyebrow at their shouts. Derek leaned over to you and whispered with a laugh. He means the soccer ball. It's real because it's actually ball-shaped. Is that a problem? They want both. Derek simply grinned. I thought so. He tossed George the football first. George caught it from out of the air in one hand and began to bounce it up and down with his fingers, feeling the weight of it. Derek popped the soccer ball gently over to Nicholas, who watched his brother intently. Nicholas had to catch it with both hands. He wrapped his arms around the ball and hugged it to his chest. It's already been 1 hour. I know, man. So water would be good now. Yep, yes it is. Drink lots of water. And with his brothers taken care of, Derek crouched again to reveal a third ball. He'd brought a second soccer ball. Derek had been prepared. And then sprung back to his feet, another problem diverted. George, Nicholas, you can use this half of the field. I'll use this half. Rain can be your ref, so don't get too far from her, all right? Okay. George tossed his football in the air, preoccupied. It spun in an arc downward. All right, I'm gonna practice. Nicholas embraced his soccer ball tighter, pressing his cheek into it. You wondered just how he'd practice with it, when the equipment was about as big as his head. The child looked completely content with the world, but Derek's eyes narrowed. Once again, he shared some Nicholas info into your ear. Oh, watch him. It's not over. He copies what I say, but it's not what he means. You snuck a peek at Nicholas. He appeared so innocent, clutching his ball and staring at the patch of clover in the grass, but you'd interacted with him enough to not question his potential for trouble. Yeah, Always question kids. Always question them. They never say what they mean. They're always gonna cause trouble. It's never that easy. Okay, let's see. Okay, Angie and chat. Georgia's Night Fury will be red and black. Now, which eye color should Georgia's Night Fury have? Yellow is always my go-to when it comes to eye colors. Oh, cool. Censored Night Fury. Yep. Good old Derek, always reliable and prepared, unlike a certain green-haired guy. Yeah, Cove would be absolutely panicking right now. Talk about something being on fire. Things would be on fire. You'd make sure to keep an eye on that kid. You nodded at Derek without looking away from Nicholas.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rain. You're a lifesaver. Derek held his soccer ball in both hands and cheered. Bye, bros. Bye. Bye, bro. Derek put on a smile as he picked up his bag, tucked his soccer ball under his arm, and jogged to his side of the field. He didn't have time to lose. You stood with the younger Suarez boys, effectively turned loose. George stared at you with uncertainty, while Nicholas's mischievous smirk could only make you guess what he was thinking. Should be amber, orange, or yellow. Yeah, those are good. So if Nicholas just repeats what Derek says, does that mean Derek really wanted to see Rain? Yes. I think we know the answer to that. The answer's yes. Derek has the biggest crush on Rain. You weren't going to make Mr. and Mrs. Suarez regret letting you come, and you especially weren't going to disappoint Derek. You were going to watch these boys. Time to be in charge. I'm going to go play over there. He pointed vaguely to the opposite side of the field from Derek and trotted off to entertain himself. You let him go without argument. George wasn't the problem child. When you saw him settle in, throwing this football and chasing it, you smiled. You would only need to manage Nicholas. You aimed your grin towards him, but instead of being in the clover patch, he was missing. Rain. Rain, 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 rain. What did we tell you? What did we... I knew it. I freaking knew it. You gotta watch the younger ones. Okay? They're always gonna run off and set things on fire and be a danger to themselves and everyone around. You gotta watch the younger ones. That's always how it is. That's always how it is. They always want to throw themselves in front of things. They're always trying to throw themselves in front of things. Okay, Angie and Chad, vote for George's Night Fury's eye color, yellow or orange. I always vote for yellow. Nicholas is chaotic just like me. Yep. I think children are always just pure chaos. I think that's just the nature of them. Call Nicholas solid in the way he snakes away. Yep. You snapped your head back and forth until you spotted him in a fumbling dash across the grass, struggling to keep his soccer ball from slipping out of his arms. When Derek said, "Watch him," he had really, really meant it. Maybe chasing puppies around had prepared you for this after all. Oh, we can be authoritative in that. Hey, come back here, young man. No, put some authority in that. Or we can panic. We could always panic. Couple of these are good. I'm gonna be authoritative. It's gonna sound really cool. I did not say that right. All right. The kid kept scrambling through the field. Yelling louder didn't help. You'd have to physically get him. Of course. Of course. You jogged over to him, and luckily his small legs made it easy to close the distance and then pass him. You planted yourself in front of his path. He didn't look up until he bumped right into your legs. Nicholas snickered. He tried to dash around you, so you had to shift to the left to block his progress. The little kids. Always like this. Always like this. Avatars of chaos, every single one of them. Every single one of them. What happened if you combine those two colors? That'd probably make a nice color. He then went right and you speedily sidestepped. Soon you both were going back and forth as though you were actually playing a game of soccer, and Nicholas was trying to get past you to score. The soccer ball tumbled from his arms. That might be the best way to do it. Kick the ball and suggest playing with him. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Hey, chat. Hey. Am I still on for you guys? Quick question. Is everything okay for you right now? 'Cause, like, I'm getting an error message. Like, OBS is kind of tripping out. And, yep, still on? Okay, well, we're gonna ignore that. If everything's running, we're just gonna ignore that and hope it goes away. So, let's see. Overwhelmed? Okay. Overwhelmed. You gave him no directions and no reason to calm down. You could only look at him. Nicholas scooped up the soccer ball and continued to run. You automatically followed behind, barely keeping up and definitely not gaining any ground. Back and forth, you felt like you were stuck in an unwinnable game of Pong. Nicholas was the puck, bothering Derek was the goal, and you were the paddle, putting off the inevitable. The sour pit in your stomach grew, and until you wished you had never agreed to this. How did you think you were qualified to be in charge? A firm voice stopped your spiraling. George stomped over with a frown. He appeared entirely fed up and had abandoned his football in the grass. You're supposed to be practicing. Nicholas finally paused his gleeful escape antics. He raised a bushy eyebrow. George folded his arms and laid down the law. Derek told you, remember? We're here to practice. Nicholas's cheeky grin fell. He squeezed his arm around the soccer ball tightly. Sparkles came into his eyes, and he nodded with enthusiasm. Let's see. You're good for now? Good. Defeating a beehive in boxing is quite similar to defeating a child in boxing. Truer words were never spoken. Yeah, I'm practicing. He dropped the ball and gave it a kick. You sighed grateful as Nicholas settled into practicing. The smile on your lips was directed to George. He didn't say another word but grinned back. You hovered around Nicholas cautiously as he attempted to do some sort of soccer practice. The only times your gaze strayed from the little Suarez was when you blinked and sent the occasional glance George's way. George continued to enjoy his time in the park without any need for assistance, so you spent most of your energy on the mischief maker. And after smoothing things with the initial bump of the afternoon, things evened out. At least, things were fine until the trial known as lunch arrived. That's a dangerous one. Very dangerous. It's usually a bloodbath where I'm from. But, I've heard it's not that way with humans. Or it can be. I don't know, I've been seeing some interesting videos on YouTube recently, so maybe it is a bloodbath for you guys. Alright, see, George's Night Fury, eye color will be Ember now. Should George's Night Fury should be male or female? Yeah, I agree, let's go with male. It started when the reappearance of Derek. His presence sent Nicholas into hyperdrive. He bounced on the tips of his toes and waved both of his hands frantically. Derek's back! He tackled his older brother and latched around Derek's left leg. George, like half of the entire park, noticed the shout. He jogged over to see if any important updates were happening without him. Derek winked. Hey, bros. Hey, Rain. I hope you're doing all right. As he spoke, he let his bag drop to the ground. He crouched over it and scrooched up the packed lunch. Let's see here. We could say, like, oh yeah, George totally helped us, or we could try and take all of the credit for it, or be sarcastic. So many good options. Okay. They have to each be a beehive to earn their lunch. Ah, yes. The true way to do this. Beat up a beehive. That's your training. Be kind to George. He saved you. That's true. He did. You ducked your head, remembering how much you had lost control of the situation. Oh yeah, George is the best backup. But I'm sorry it sucked. It sucked. This can be really tough. It's okay. Derek reached out a fist and held it out to George for a fist bump. George rolled his eyes good-naturedly. Thanks for stepping in, George. Yeah, it was just Nicholas being Nicholas again. Derek set aside 3 paper bags in the grass, one in front of Nicholas, another next to George, and the third went to you. Derek kept the 4th lunch inside his backpack. He only pulled a water bottle out from it and closed the bag back up. Okay, Nicholas, you gotta eat now with Rain and George. Nicholas clenched Derek's jeans more desperately as he whined. You're not gonna eat with me? Derek scratched the back of his head and gave a longing glance back to where he'd been practicing. Do you mind, Rain? I was hoping I'd have more time to practice. He shrugged apologetically, knowing that he was asking a lot. Well, the thing is that I read that whole little subtext saying that something bad was going to happen, so I'd really rather you actually stay here, Derek. I'd really rather you stay here and that the horrible thing about to happen is not going to happen. I said internally. Sure, good luck with your practice, I say with a forced smile. Thanks, I owe you one. Nicholas's whimpering never stopped being high-pitched. Background noise. Derek ruffled his hair. Hey, check this out! He picked up Nicholas's soccer ball and placed it on top of his own head. Nicholas's jaw dropped theatrically as Derek fully stood up while keeping it bounced. Nicholas cheered and jumped up and down, still holding onto Derek's leg. Derek bent his knees and then popped up fast enough to launch the ball in the air. He caught it on his head again. Ha! Nicholas let go of his brother to clap. Derek grinned at Nicholas, but his gaze flicked to you for a second. The show over, Derek inclined his head and let the soccer ball drop into his hands. He held it out to Nicholas. Make sure to eat a good lunch, okay? Then you can go back to practicing. Okay. Nicholas spoke into the soccer ball he had cuddled to his face. He had been starstruck enough that he couldn't disagree with anything his biggest brother said. Okay guys, so Elmer will be the name of George's Night Fury. I like the name Elmer. That's nice. Building Derek's now. Alright. George promptly took a seat in the grass by his lunch bags. Nicholas put the soccer ball on his head. It immediately rolled off. He just tried again. You reached over to the lunches. Each bag had a clearly written name in black marker ink. George collected his bag. You had yours, and you attempted to give the last one to its proper owner. But Nicholas showed zero interest in his bag. You imagined he would have been more interested in Derek's lunch bag, even though they probably had the same meals. Yeah, that face looks just totally, like, unamused. Like, ugh, why are you even here? You're not Derek, go away. George scoffed, knowing his brother was going to be difficult again. He took a sandwich from his bag. From looks alone, you guessed it was sliced deli turkey, a pale-colored cheese, and some veggies. With Nicholas clearly busy, you took his sandwich out for him. The sandwich was ham and some sort of orangey cheese cheddar, almost certainly. You offered the food directly to Nicholas, and he still didn't bite. He wanted to play. Give an SOS to George. Speak in Morse code. Blink. Alright, building Derek's Night Fury? It should be green, I agree with Momster. Obviously we give the SOS, right? It's the most natural response from us. You needed the input of the true older sibling. George got your message loud and clear. He let out a tired sigh and spoke up in a flat voice. Man, this kid is already middle-aged. This kid has aged so much. I'll just eat it. Mom's food shouldn't be wasted. No, you can't eat it. That's mine. Nicholas stomped his foot, but George was unaffected. He shrugged at his little brother. Then you eat it. I will. Nicholas dropped the ball and grabbed his sandwich out of your hand. The ball rolled a few feet to the side, but you kept your attention fixed on the young boy. Nicholas crossed a leg under him, and his frustration disappeared almost instantly with the first bite. That was one sibling fed and one more to go. Thank you, George. At your heartfelt appreciation, George nonchalantly lifted his shoulder again, but you didn't miss the slight upturn of the corner of his mouth when he moved his attention back to his own lunch. You proudly took a bite of your own. As you chewed, you felt more confident about how the rest of this afternoon with the boys would turn out. You weren't really on your own. Question for Angie in chat. What color should Derek's Night Fury be? Oh, green. We said green. Finishing the last corner of your square-shaped meal, you wondered if Mrs. Suarez had talked to one of your moms beforehand about lunch. The sandwich was made how you would have made it at home. She was either prepared or very lucky, but considering what her oldest son was like, you were guessing luck had nothing to do with it. Let's see. Alright. I'll go back to this. Along with the sandwiches, there were also bags of carrots, celery, and a few cookies. Between the three of you, it wasn't long before all the snacks were gone. With nothing left to nibble on, Nicholas yawned and curled up on the grass, cuddling the soccer ball against his chest. George stood up, watching his little brother fall asleep. Once he was certain that Nicholas was down for the count, he started cleaning up the trash. You admired the maturity he showed at his age. It wasn't just Derek who had that streak after all. You helped gather the trash while musing about the Suarez brothers. Derek was the oldest, and who his parents relied on, while Nicholas was the baby of the family. And for a little kid, he was a force to be reckoned with. George was the one stuck in the middle. Let's see. We should still thank him. We should definitely still thank him for everything he is doing for us. So, let's see. Thanks for being such a good babysitter. You're really good at football. There's a few really good ones here. I guess we should thank him because we haven't thanked him enough yet. So I'll go with, tell him he's good at football. That's the first one I see, so alright. Compliment is football. Got it. George spun around on his heel. He seemed stunned, like he wasn't sure if he imagined your compliment or not. In a couple years, you could totally get on a junior football team. He nodded and a blush grew on his face until it reached his ears. That is cute. That's adorable. Okay. He hurriedly went back to what he was doing before. George was embarrassed, but you also noticed there was a bounce in his step that wasn't there before. The park suddenly felt empty with Nicholas asleep. He took up a lot of space despite his tiny size. Chuckling to yourself, you found a comfortable spot in the grass and scanned the area for Derek. You eventually caught sight of him running in the distance. Even from here, you could tell that Derek was persistent about his practice. He went back and forth, repeating the same set of moves, reassessing and refining his form every time. Though it wasn't long before he paused to wipe his brow with his black wristband, Derek happened to glance your way at that moment and realized that he had an audience of one. He gave a huge wave with both hands that required he cross both his arms over his head, and before you knew it, Derek's strides were bringing him back over to you and his brothers. Phew, that's it. I'm gonna be done with practice. I'm back. You proudly put all of your support behind the thumbs up you gave him. A few seconds later, you even added the other thumb too, and Derek laughed, truly appreciative of your encouragement. Thanks for watching, George and Nicholas. I didn't mean for it to be so long. I'm okay. Happy I could help, she said, face full of lies. She could have had reliable Derek. It's true. You could have been there, Derek. You could have. Okay. All right. My throat is already getting dry. What is happening? Tell him to grind to siblings. Okay, Angie in chat. Derek's Night Fury color will be green. We're back to eye color. Feel old. No, I'm not old. Okay. But yeah, I guess we could choose that. You wrinkled your nose, pretending to be disgusted. Derek put his hands on his hips, and his mouth quirked into a lopsided grin. Makes you appreciate your moms, huh? Yeah, it does. Next, he shifted his attention over to his brothers. George gave a little wave. He'd been waiting patiently for his big brother to wrap up the conversation with you. We're going back. George simply got up, not needing any more guidance, while Derek kneeled in the grass to nudge Nicholas out of dreamland. A single eye cracked open at first, and then both popped wide open when he realized who was with him. Nicholas sprang off the ground, wrapping his arms around his big brother like a vice grip and nuzzled into his chest. Derek gave Nicholas's hand a single pat. I think we should teach this guy beehive boxing. He's full of chaos. I like that. Alright. Anybody in the chat and Angie give me some sort of eye color? I do like the shiny white that was censored. That censored said, not that was censored. Censored said it. Well, I guess that means it was censored if censored said it. Huh. Wait. Nope, doesn't matter. I'm thinking too hard. Alright. Derek gave Nicholas's head a single pat. Practice was good today. Let's go home. Aww. Nicholas's hushed voice echoing his brother's put a warm smile on your face. Surveying the area, you made sure that nothing would be accidentally left behind. Then you breathed a sigh of relief. You made it through your first time solo babysitting. Although Derek was technically still nearby the whole time, so it wasn't completely solo, but you weren't bothered by that. Derek trusted you with his siblings, and they were both still in one piece. I don't know if I would call that solo babysitting. We relied on George that entire time. Don't confuse yourself, Angie. Too late. I'm always confused. With your leadership, no one got lost. Leadership? I think leadership is a little bit of a strong word here. Got lost, injured, swallowed something they shouldn't have, or even declared that they hated you for eternity. So in your book, you'd say it went fairly well. The 15-minute walk back from your park passed by pleasantly. The late afternoon sun fell behind you, and your shadow soon stretched across the sidewalk. You wriggled your fingers and then exaggerated your hand movements in order to watch the shadow change. Meanwhile, next to you, Derek was finally eating his lunch. Although he had to eat a sandwich with one hand, Nicholas wasn't clasping tightly onto. George entertained himself with the football he still carried. He periodically tossed it up into the air and caught it again. You could easily imagine how often the three of them had made this trip before, with only the three of them. But you didn't feel out of place strolling alongside the group. It felt natural. Beaming, you found your gaze settling on Derek again. You knew without a doubt that the way you felt was because of him. He was so good at making you feel welcome. In time, you made it safely back, and Derek dropped his bag on the floor with a quiet sigh of relief. Any hope he had to take things easily for a second immediately evaporated. He remembered, and all of his lines are voiced now. Nicholas's joy was palpable, parroting back Derek's promise from earlier in the day. As his words dawned on him, Derek closed his eyes and breathed deeply. Yep, we are. Get ready. And that was all the approval Nicholas and George needed. They both dashed off to their shared bedroom to get changed. Derek sluggishly opened his eyes, but his tiredness softened when he looked at you.
It's okay.
Patience is done. If you want to, practice is done. Wow, I'm making him very not patient. I did say in the last stream that patience was done. Don't be patient. Don't be patient ever again. Oh my god, he can talk. He can, in fact, all of his lines are voiced now. Fury is male. Now what should we name him? I'm bad at names. Someone choose. All right. Practice is done. If you want to stay up here until your moms can come get you, that's cool. Derek gave a partial shrug and then ran a hand through his hair shyly. We don't have to go swimming again. Okay. Let's see. Well, okay. So this is an alternate universe where we're totally into Derek and not into Cove. That's what we decided. Actually, that's what I decided. I didn't ask your input. But so all of that to say, which I didn't say anything, but all of that to say, I spaced out. All of that to say that I want to hang out with you, Derek. Hee hee. Twirls hair. Tee hee. What? You promised we'd go to the pool again. You put your hands on your hips and pouted. He laughed and raised his hands in self-defense. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that you knew you had options. It wasn't much longer before the younger kids came running out to rejoin you and Derek. They both wore their neon-colored swimsuits and had towels wrapped around their shoulders. Awesome. Nice job. You can remember your floaty vest, Nicholas. That is adorable. Oh my god, that's so cute. I beat space? No, you didn't. On mine, it shows that space is first. I'm looking at both screens just to make sure, both screens in my chat, and it shows that space beat you. So, I go by that. So that's what I go by. Angie, do you think a gym? Is that what it is? A gym is a good name for Derek's Night Fury. Yeah, I do. No, you were too late. You were too late, Momster. You were too late and you could not make the choice. Okay, Angie and chat. Derek's Night Fury is age. Why do I have the feeling that you actually twirled your hair while you were talking? Of course I did. Of course I did. You guys can't see any of my actions because I don't have any hand tracking. But, like, I always do super exaggerated hand movements. Space can tell you that. Space can tell you that I always do, like every time I'm voicing a character, I get into the same pose as them. I do that all the time. No, she doesn't. She's like, thanks for having my back, Space. I know I can always count on you. All right. Space is altering time. That does sound about right. That does sound like something she could do. Okay. I'm gonna keep reading while Space spreads her lies. Derek kneeled down to make sure the safety device was properly secured. Nicholas stood tall with his chest out proudly. He didn't fear the scrutinization. I did the straps for him. Perfect, thanks. George brightened just as his younger brother had. Standing back up, Derek shifted his attention to you. Same quick change strategy from earlier? Yeah. You darted off to get changed first. Derek nodded seriously when you returned to take over for him. He re-emerged a couple of minutes later and diligently went over to the counter to write something down. Curious, you inched closer. Just gotta leave a note so Dad knows where we are, then we can go. Wow, Angie, can't believe you're lying about this. Hashtag canceled. Huh. I haven't gone through a cancel before. That's a new one. At least I'm not canceled. That would be bad. Alright. Oh, sounds good. Everything was squared away as Derek was always sure to do. And the four of you marched right back to the apartment for another excursion. By the time the distinct smell of chlorine tickled your nose, the sun had fallen low in the sky. You circled around some nearby lounge chairs and deemed them capable of keeping your things safe. Inspecting the gleaming water, you noticed that George and Nicholas hadn't moved towards the pool yet. Both of the little boys were watching Derek like hawks. You'd picked up enough this afternoon to know that it was because George didn't want to do anything without permission, and Nicholas didn't want to do anything Derek wasn't doing. Here I go! And Derek himself knew it too. He didn't keep them waiting. Derek offered his brothers an encouraging wave and strode over to the pool. Always to the water. We always go to the water. Always go to the water and follow the light. Both things do very good things for you. Wait for me! Derek paused at the pool's edge and glanced over his shoulder. He beamed at you. All right, on 3. 1, 2, 3. You simultaneously leapt into the pool, making a huge splash. After a few seconds, you made your way to the surface to take a breath. Derek, meanwhile, stayed under. The other Suarez sons followed. George jumped in without any hesitation, but Nicholas sped right to the edge, only to come to an abrupt stop. His toes curled around the edge of the pool, and his lips were pressed into a tight frown. Nicholas tipped his head and stared down at the water, clutching his hands together. He was scared to jump. Nicholas would rather the pool come to the rest of the way to him, but it wasn't being a good sport. Derek and George popped out of the water with matching wide grins and droplets circling the tips of their hair. Neither was surprised that they were missing their baby brother. All right. Woohoo! That was awesome. Nicholas's cry for help came out in a tiny, impatient squeak. He began wiggling in place. Derek chuckled and swam over to the shallower spot. The 6-year-old followed closely, toddling along the edge. When his feet touched the pool's solid bottom, Derek stood up. He kindly held his arms out towards his brother. Come on in, Nico. The water's fine. Trusting him completely, Nicholas let go of his fear. He took a step over the side and walked into his favorite person's hold. Derek embraced Nicholas as he dropped against his chest. Then Derek slowly lowered him closer to the water before completely let his little brother go. Nicholas bobbed under the small splash and broke out again in an instant like a buoy. He was bursting at the seams with excitement. Cute. Nicholas made the most of his new floating freedom by dog paddling around the shallow end. Checking on George, you noticed that he was sticking to the center of the pool. I imagine Derek and 3 brothers playing at the pool with the Night Fury friends. Yeah, that'd be cute. He bounced himself over the floor to the surface for air and then pushed back down to do it all over again. He leapt all around in a circle. Derek rested an arm against the pool's edge and took a moment to watch his brothers too. You swam over to Derek and settled against the wall with him. You closed your eyes and sighed. The water's temperature was pleasantly warm against the cooling evening air. Derek kept his main focus on his family, though he spared a moment to tilt his head in your direction. A few beads of water trailed from his hairline down to the side of his jaw. Nicholas is unleashed into the waters. That's right. Careful, folks. He will bite. Be wary of small, curious, grabby children seeking fish to catch. Yeah! Oh no, that is a problem. I should be careful. Guess what? What? Babysitting isn't that bad, huh? It's horrible. Censored. You're right, man. You're so right. Oh, man, how could I not see it before? I'm gonna go and think about that for a long time. No. You shook your head thinking back to the day. No, she lied through her teeth. Nicholas could be a handful, but otherwise nothing was as horrible as you had feared. That's a straight lie. Whoa, man, I think that's crossing a line. Space just doesn't get it. Honestly. My brothers are fun. Some of the time. He chuckled at his own joke and ran a damp hand down his face to try getting at least some of the water off. The final rays of sunlight cast a warm glow on his skin, and the pool sparkled as he finally turned his attention directly towards you. Derek's mouth turned into his usual wonderful smile. I don't know what I'd do without them. I don't know what snarky comment to make there. I'm not sure what to make. He's being cute. I don't want to ruin the cute moment. Nicholas is the cutest. That is... Avatars of Chaos usually are the cutest. Where did mine go? Where did that cat go? I don't know where he went. He disappeared. He was behind me and now he's gone. But yeah, from my experience, the more chaotic ones are usually the cutest too. They're great. He smirked at that. Good, because I like them too. George and Nicholas remained engrossed in their own watery adventures, while you and Derek kept track of them. You were in mid-conversation when the sound of footsteps echoed off the walls surrounding the pool. Derek shot an arm out of the water and waved at the newcomer. Dad! Good evening. Oh, look at this guy! Oh, I think this is the best dad we've gotten so far. I mean, we've only had Cliff so far, but this guy's a true dad. Like, oh my god. This is like the best design. This is like the best design in the game. This guy right here. I'm not kidding. I love this guy. Instantly, I love this guy. I want to sit in a library and read with him. And then to get wine and cheese. This guy is great. You know he had to do it to them. Exactly. The bar is low, but I agree. He knocks it out of the park. That's right. Best dad already. All right. Good evening. No, I don't like that voice. That was immediately bad. Chillest looking dad. Chillest looking dad. What a Chad. Exactly. This guy right here. Instantly the best character in the game. God, GB Patch. Always making the parents the best looking characters in this game. I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing. Dad! Dad? All the Suarez boys eagerly padded over to the end of the pool, where the father stood. They moved together in the water, and their heads beside each other, and their legs kicked out behind them, and like a pile of seal pups. Welcome home. Thank you, George. Mr. Suarez's voice was sweet, and he observed his children's happy faces. Eventually, he spotted you as well, and tucked his fingers into the edge of his vest with vigor. Oh, this is a pool party today, You know, a party should have the proper food. Let's order pizza for dinner tonight. Wow, he's so thoughtful. I like this guy. I like this guy a lot. Angie's twirling her hair again. Mr. Suarez, Night Fury, 100% would be named. Yep, all of this. Oh, man. I could just stare at him forever, looking into his eyes. He's a married man. I can't keep doing this. But look at him. Look at him. Why do they make the parents so attractive in this game? Yeah. Laughing with excitement, Nicholas started smacking the palms of his hands against the water surface, making several bursting splashes. He reminds me of a Dream Daddy character. I was actually thinking the exact same thing. Shout out to Dream Daddy. It's been forever since I played that game. We might play that on stream one of these days for one of these book clubs. Not for a while, though. Man, after our life is finally over, there are like a ton more visual novels that are going to be coming up. And I don't think we're going to have dating sims for a little while. All right. Laughing with excitement, Nicholas started I read that. George flicked the droplets from the tips of his fingers at Nicholas in retaliation. Chuckling over the scene, Mr. Suarez brought a hand up and held onto his chin. He scratched at his beard with his thumb. Half cheese, half pepperoni for the first, correct? Yes! Pepperoni! Nicholas threw both his hands in the air as he cheered. Mr. Suarez nodded pleased with his littlest one, still had predictable tastes. Okay, and meat and veggie supreme for Irene and I on the second. He settled his gaze on Derek and you for the final decision. Suggestions for what the final half should be? Rain, you pick. You floated over closer to Derek as you thought about it. All right, guys, customize your pizza. Hi, welcome to Pizza Hut. May I take your order? Everything pizza. Everything pizza. All right. Can we put that? Is it like others where we can pepperoni pizza, everything pizza, pizza? Pizza sounds kind of good. I was thinking that. Oh my god, it's starting to dawn on me that I really haven't eaten anything today. I really want food. Pizza sounds really good. Okay. All right. I will negotiate with you guys here in that I want all meat. All meat. I love meat. I love Meat Lovers Pizza. Derek gave you a big thumbs up for that. So in full, half cheese and half pepperoni, half supreme, and half all meat. Yeah, Meat Lovers Pizza is my favorite. So, like, listen, pepperoni is great and all, and, like, I do love myself pepperoni pizza, but, like, Meat Lovers, think of it, it's just more meat. You still have pepperoni, it's just, you know, more meat. That's like, already the winning strategy. That's absolutely the winning strategy, right? Just meat. Unlimited meat. Only meat. Even the crust is meat. It's all meat. It's great! That's a lot of halves on one pizza. It is. Exactly. Thank you, children. I'll put the order in now. I'll come back to let you know when it's ready. But until then, continue to play. All meats! That's right. Meat is supreme. Meat is the best. Always eat meat. Thanks, Dad. Bye. Nope, that wasn't his dad. That was George. George is just really imitating his dad. I love macho pizza. Yeah. Gee, I wonder if Angie is a carnivorous fish that can't be trusted not to eat humans. I don't know what you're talking about. I haven't eaten any of you yet. Besides, I need you guys. The sauce is amazing. Yeah. I did not see that option. They didn't give it to us. Thanks, Dad. You cheerily waved goodbye to Mr. Suarez. All of the food talk had you amped up for dinner. Mr. Suarez closed the pool gate behind him, leaving you kids to have your fun. That guy is a bag of sunshine. Absolutely. In Mr. Suarez's absence, Derek took charge again. All right, you heard it. Dad's ordering pizza, so it'll be here in like 30 minutes. So think fast. What's the last thing you want to do before we have to leave the pool? Nicholas furrowed his brow, thinking as hard as he could. He scrunched his face together in frustration when nothing came to mind. I can't believe that the Capybara family is eating pizza and drinking orange soda. Where'd the orange soda come in? I mean, orange soda's fine, but like, not my first choice. I just realized that my stream is 30 seconds late. It's 30 seconds late? Like, ahead of us? Fascinating. What secrets do you see? For a Night Fury named, I can't read it because it got cut off. Hour 2. That's right, we've entered hour 2. 6 minutes ago. All right. Meanwhile, George put a hand to his chin and tilted his head to the side. He stared up and off into space as he considered the question. Think fast. The younger Suarez brothers may have been unsure or overwhelmed with how they wanted to spend their remaining pool time, but you weren't. You knew exactly what you wanted to do. You subtly angled your position in the water, carefully deciding your plan of attack. The corner of your mouth bent, and you flung a mighty splash towards Derek. He ended up with a face full of water, and he sputtered before shaking it off with laughter. As he regained his composure, Derek brushed a hand down his face again to wipe some droplets away. Yep, space can alter time. Rain, I'm sure you're aware of what that means. Derek's stare narrowed with a fierce, amused look of determination. You matched it and gave an added slow nod. I believe I do. This means war. Bring it! Defeat him! Show him soccer is no match for the mighty sport of beehive boxing. That's right. That's right. You think I haven't trained my entire life for this, Derek? I have been training my entire life for this, okay? This is what I was born to do. You're going down, Suarez. You're going down. Okay, anyways. He swiftly sent a shot of water in your direction. Nicholas cackled at your exchange, and he started to excitedly beat the water surface and sent droplets crashing in all directions. But no matter what, we're no match for the chaos of a child, of a 6-year-old. We're no match for it, guys. You'll never win against 6-year-olds. You can't predict them. You can't predict a man that's willing to put himself in danger just to get the attack in. All right. You twisted away from their attacks, and the second the water settled, you struck, pushing your hands forward and sent another big wave crashing towards the brothers. Take them all out! Take them all out, Rain! You've got this! Derek sent splashes with both hands, on each of his sides, juggling you and Nicholas. Nicholas pulled water, cupping in his hands, and he threw it into the air. The droplets carelessly poured down on everything. Nicholas was dangerous in this fight. He was willing to take a hit to get hit. That's right. That's exactly what you have to look out for. I knew he would do that. Oh, that crazy guy. You always gotta watch out for the kids. That strategy, it's hard to plan around. Out of the 4 of you, George enacted the best defense strategy. He took a deep breath and held it while he slid under the water. Only his hands remained at the surface, and then rapidly splashed in all directions. Oh man, a move like that. I don't know how you're able to get around it, how you can possibly dodge it. Quick, go for the eyes, that's right. That's a great strategy. How could I not have thought about that? Kick him in the face! Kick him in the face, Rain! Censored? Oh man, we're stealing lines now? You just can't put it the same way, Tarnished. You can't put it the same way that Censor did. Look at that speech. How could anyone ever match to that? Okay. He took a deep, we did that. George's strategy kept you all on your toes in order to avoid his scatter shot. Whenever he came up for air, Derek made sure to be ready to take the shot. It was a grand battle. Oh, man, just look at those words. I'm tearing up. I'm tearing up just thinking about it. I mean, it's just, he says it with so much emotion. You keep being you, Censored. You keep being you. All right. Derek made sure to be ready to take the shot. It was a grand battle. The 4 of you thoroughly enjoyed your time at the pool. It flew by so fast that you were surprised when you spotted Mr. Suarez cruising down on the water's edge once more. Dinner's here, and even better, Mom's home. Yay! The youngest Suarez threw his wet confetti into the air one more time. Even his dad wasn't safe from it. Mr. Suarez took it in stride and wiped his glasses against his vest. Derek was out of breath, but he beamed. Let's go get some food. Yeah. Mr. Suarez led the way to his apartment, and the four of you kids marched with an eager spring in your steps. Despite being wrapped in towels, you dripped water the whole way there. The savory smell of hot cheese and garlic crust was there to greet you when you arrived at the door. You could hear the musical words of Mrs. Suarez, too. Welcome home. Hi. Hey, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
Feeling a bit awkward and out of place, you gave a tiny wave. Mrs. Suarez didn't miss it, and her voice softened as she spoke to you first. Hello, Rain. I hope you had fun today. I did.
We had lots of fun.
Very good. Mrs. Suarez then went to the kitchen with the food. When the food was set on the counter, she popped the boxes open and delightedly glanced over at her husband. How will Derek's mother and father react when they find out that their sons have their night furies? I think they have night furies. Clearly they're breeding night furies if they all have night furies. Terrified, probably. That's also, they could be terrified if they've never seen them before. But, like, come on, all of them have night furies? I bet they have their own night furies. Alright. Yes, I did that. That was such a good idea. Yes, when you have a lot of kids over, pizza is certainly a good idea. Thank you. Mr. Suarez dipped his head into a tiny bow. He followed that by gesturing a hand towards the food. It's a family affair, that's right. Come get your dinner, youngest to oldest in oldest order. Despite the order given, it was no surprise that George was the one who moved first. You figured Nicholas would wait for Derek, even if he didn't have to. George tore off a paper towel from the roll and used it to grab a slice of plain cheese pizza. He hot-footed it back over to the entryway, standing there so he wouldn't bring water any further into the apartment. You can go next, Rain. It'll be easier that way. The food smelled even better up close. Obviously we grab a slice of all meat. Everything meat! You hurried back to the entryway with your dinner. Derek went next, tiptoeing over with Nicholas at his heels. He grabbed a slice of pepperoni and passed it to Nicholas. Derek then grabbed a slice of pepperoni for himself, but instead of going to the entryway, he went to an open space on the floor. You curiously watched as Derek laid out his towel on the floor and then sat down on it, crossing his legs. Nicholas plopped down on the towel right next to him and stared at one of his pizza crust corners. Let's see. Grab a slice of every kind except yours. Yeah! But meat. Alright, we're going to Derek, because teehee. Oh, that's a good idea. You followed Derek's example and laid your own towel out on the floor. With cheeks stuffed with pizza, Derek gave you the cheeriest closed-mouth smile he could. Finally, Mr. and Mrs. Suarez got their slices of pizza. They stood in the living room in between the spots their sons had taken. So, how did you spend your day while we were out? We did lots of things. In between taking big bites of pizza, the Suarez family started taking turns telling stories about their day. Nicholas recounted the events of the day with the most enthusiasm. Even though they were the same plot points from his brother's stories and the ones you'd witnessed firsthand, from his perspective, the events were almost mythically amazing. They were mythically amazing, obviously. Hold on, if all meat? Does that mean also angler meat? No, it doesn't mean angler meat. The angler eats the meat. Storytelling was hungry work, so the slices didn't last long at all. The food was chipped away piece by piece until everything was stuffed. Everyone was stuffed. Nicholas laid down on the floor, limbs stretched out and still wrapped in his towel. He was completely tuckered out from the day. Mr. Suarez plucked him off the floor and held him under one arm. Bath time, come on, Junior.
Yes, Dad.
Aw. Nicholas accepted his fate, and his arms hung limply down. George crumpled up his paper towel into a ball and tossed it into the trash. He followed his dad.
Thank you.
Thank you, Giorgio. Mrs. Suarez watched them go with a gentle affection on her face. She patted her husband's shoulder as he passed by, and then strolled over to you and Derek. And thank you for a good day's work. I appreciate you both taking care of Nicholas and George today. Her cheeriness reminded you so much of Derek's. She pointed with her thumb over her shoulder. Dad and I will take it from here. Thanks, Mom. You could see the wave of relief wash over him as clearly as the actual water you had just swam in. I'll keep an ear out on the phone. Pamela said she'd call when they're on their way to get you, Rain. Okay. After that, Mrs. Suarez excused herself to go help get George and Nicholas ready for bedtime. When she disappeared down the hall, Derek leaned back on the palms of his hands. He lazily rolled his head in your direction. We can get dressed again. Then would you want to hang out in my room until your moms get here? Teehee? You hummed in agreement. With your visit winding down, that was a good plan. You can get changed first. He stretched his legs out on the floor while you stood up. You could feel a slight ache in your muscles from today's activities. It wasn't bad. You'd given your all during the babysitting adventure. Gathering your things up in your arm, you left to get changed. It wasn't long before you and Derek went over to his room for some sibling-less free time. Derek opened his bedroom door and gestured for you to lead the way. You went in while he followed close behind, shutting the door once more. His room is exactly what I pictured. Let's see. If Derek's mother and father have their own night furies. Imagine if they have their own night furies. Yeah, I did imagine it. I think they both have their own in this AU. He's a sporty little dude. He is a sporty little dude. All right. Derek opened his bedroom door. I read that. Your eyes widened as you scanned the small place. Usually, you were outside when you hung out with Derek, so this was the first time you had been inside his room. Within reach of his neatly made bed was a bookshelf filled with novels, various scattered soccer balls and footballs stuck out like the books and furniture. Things were arranged and organized with the same care Derek put into most things he did. If there was more time, you were sure there were tons more trinkets and treasures to spot here, like a game of I Spy. It wasn't big, but Derek made the most of a small piece of the world. Mr. Suarez's Night Fury would be Lavinia. Yeah, that's nice. Okay. Let's be nervous. We can be like, teehee, oh, Derek's so cool. I'm so nervous being here. You weren't sure what to do with yourself, so you stood there with your hands at your sides. The last thing you wanted to do was accidentally mess something up. A puzzled look flashed across Derek's face briefly, then it was replaced by a soft, understanding one. Whoa, we've never hung out in my room before, huh? Let's see. Oh, small room. He wasn't born into exorbitant wealth like we were. Nope. Nope, wasn't. We got lucky. We got lucky there. We were adopted into a wealthy family. Nope. That's kind of weird to think about. He awkwardly rubbed the back of his neck and glanced around the room. Whatever Derek had on his mind, he cut it off with a shrug. There's nothing to worry about though, Rain. Make yourself at home. But anyway, sorry I don't have any chairs in here. You can sit on my bed if you want. You eased his concern with an understanding nod. Derek sighed, letting himself relax. Let's see, just lay across the bed. Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. I was imagining Buff Cove staring at you two through the window. Yeah, okay, hold on. He's just like, wait. Hold on. I don't have a way right now to... No, wait. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Hold on. Hold on. And then we just gotta... No, that's me. That's me. That's me. I grabbed myself. I grabbed myself. All right. We just gotta... I think it's like... Nope, wrong one. Nope, wrong one still. Was it this one? Yes. There we go. There we go, guys. There we go. He's watching. That's funnier now that I'm looking at it. That's so stupid. He's here with us. All right. You sighed loudly, letting yourself melt into the cozy blankets. Derek crossed his arms and laughed loudly. Sure, get comfortable. You playfully propped yourself onto your elbow and rested your chin on the palm of your hand. Derek crossed over to the foot of his bed and sat there at the end of it, his jaw stretched open in a huge yawn that he quickly covered with his hand. Perfect. Absolutely perfect.
Good job, team.
Phew, we're finally done. There was no missing the proud satisfaction burning in his green eyes, but you could also consequently see the places where he was wilting. Sometimes you kind of worried about how he threw himself wholeheartedly into things all the time. Let's see. Cove is just in the way, and I'm glad that's over. He's just in the way of it. Like, choose this one. Choose this one. Say you're glad it's over. Let's see. It was nice spending the day babysitting. One step closer to Yandere Cove. We're slowly getting there. Cove looks like he's planning to destroy Derek behind those silly dot eyes. Yep. Oh my god. I'm glad that's Cove. Just Cove. Only Cove. Just Cove. It's so Cover. It's so Cover. Fuck. Anyway, we love spending time babysitting with you, Derek. His expression softened fondly as he silently studied your face. Chewing at your bottom lip, you were unsure of what he was thinking. You had meant what you said. I'm really glad it worked out. My brothers were really happy too. Derek stretched his arms high in the air and yawned again, his eyelids drooping as he turned towards you. Gradually, the carefree warmth faded from his demeanor. His face fell into a quiet frown when his hands had returned to his lap. You don't have to do it again, Rain. Whether it's a good time or bad time, it's just a lot of time. You have your own things to deal with. Wow, that was a handful to get through. Your brows bent at that. Tilting your head, you couldn't help but think about how much of Derek's days went to his brothers. It definitely didn't seem to match how things were with you and your sister. But then, as if summoned by your thoughts about him, the bedroom door creaked open just enough to let a giggling Nicholas slip in. He threw his hands in the air. It's Cover Derek Bros. That's why Mr. Suarez would be. Yeah, yep, definitely.
I'm dressed.
With a loud thud, the door swung fully open, and George marched in with an extremely annoying scowl. He put his hands on his hips. You sprang up and kicked your legs over to the side of the mattress. Lazing on the bed wasn't on the schedule anymore. Nicholas, we're playing in the living room, not Derek's room. George reached for his younger brother, but Nicholas scurried up onto the bed. He warily peeked at George from behind Derek's shoulder. Derek notably didn't say a single word, nor did he appear surprised about the intrusion at all. The only movement he made was a light pat on the mess of the head on Nicholas's head, like usual. What wasn't usual was the distant look on his face. He had accepted the reality at hand, but did not welcome it. The dad sent them in. Check on them. Now that Cove isn't in the way, we can just put him in the corner. Mr. and Mrs. Suarez crowded into the room next.
Excuse us.
Sorry, Derek. He slipped away in a flash.
Yeah, no more.
Come on, Nicholas. Let Derek and Rain have some peace. The youngest Suarez stubbornly clung onto Derek's arm. His cheeks puffed out angrily. Nicholas, go hang out with Mom and Dad. Don't you want to see them too? They missed you today. Don't you want to see Mom and Dad too? Come on, Derek. Nicholas loosened his grip as he shifted to get a better look at his big brother. Derek sighed spiritlessly. I do, but I have a friend over right now. I'll spend time with Mom and Dad and you later. Nicholas bent forward and grasped Derek's pant leg. He brought out the big guns and stared at him with the most pitiful eyes and a matching pout. Cove on Nicholas's head. Yep. He's just there. He's just on his head. I discovered that the sand wraiths, woolly howls, and the snow wraiths, maybe even skrills and dragons that are close related to night furies and light furies. Interesting. Which means that our life in How to Train Your Dragon universe can grow. Let's see here. Well, I'm not Cove this happened. Don't be sad, it's been a happy day. Let's see, you know Derek does what he's supposed to. You can be like that now, Nicholas. Come on, do what you're supposed to. Okay, let's see. What do you guys think? What do you guys want? I'm gonna take some tea real fast. Defuse how? How would you defuse it, Space? Use your words. Be like that now, Nicholas. Got it. Technically, Space was first on that. But then she didn't have an answer and Momster came in. So I think I actually give that to Momster. So don't be sad. Nicholas immediately whipped his head in your direction. He clearly had forgotten that you were even still there. Right? Feeling more awkward by the second, you paused while the youngest Suarez did nothing but stare. Eventually you shrugged. I had fun. I thought we all did. And we're all still here together, so there's no need to be sad when we're nearby in other rooms. Tears started welling up, and he turned back to his big brother. Nicholas's jaw clenched as he tightened his grip on his brother's leg.
End of discussion.
Nicholas, we're reading a story right now. Nicholas angrily shook his head as she advanced across the room. She unapologetically peeled her youngest child off of Derek. The young boy let out a high-pitched whine for the entire extraction. Ha! He couldn't bounce the soccer ball in his head, and he's got Cove bounce no problem. That's right. Cove Cove honestly probably just, climbed on top of his head so he could peer into what was happening. George frowned sympathetically over the confrontation while Derek winced at the noise. When the deed was done, the middle son followed his mom out of the room. You could still hear Nicholas's piercing cry as he was carried away. I'm very sorry about the interruption. Continue as you were. None of us were even here. He gave the both of you an encouraging smile before carefully shutting the door again. It was finally silent. Derek kept an eye out until he honestly believed that there wouldn't immediately be another sibling disaster. When he deemed it was safe, he let out a quick sigh in an attempt to choke back a harsher groan. I heard a cat. I heard my cat. Somewhere. I hear him, but I don't see him. This can only mean dangerous things. Angie, I put something in chat about our life and how to train your dragon universe. I read that. You said censor differently. I wasn't ready for that. There we go. That's the censor I know. That's the censored I know. But yeah, Okapi, I read the last thing you said. I'm looking at the chat right now. All right. Derek kept an eye out until he honestly believed that there wouldn't immediately be another sibling disaster. When he deemed it safe, he let out a quick sigh in an attempt to choke back a harsher groan. Derek flopped back against the mattress with another huff and stretched his arms out to his sides. His arms twitched and his fingers curled into fists. There's never any privacy here. How am I supposed to deal with these things even after spending almost the whole day with them? You held your tongue, waiting patiently for him to get it all out. Derek muttered grievances under his breath, with a harsh glare aimed at the ceiling for a good minute, and screwed his mouth shut. Let's see. We can complain about our own sister. Very sibling-like. You have to pay attention to space and stay ahead of her. Yep, I do too. She's always waiting around the corner to jump scare me. It's definitely Cove. You caught it too, Space. No, be nice about Liz. Then tell me what to say. Tell me what to say in the next 5 seconds or I'm choosing that one. 5, 4, 3, 2. I'm getting closer. I'm getting closer to it, Space. Getting closer. 3, 2. He did a good job. I gave you the extra time, so. All right. He did a good job. He didn't respond, but you witnessed the bulk of his anger gradually fade from his brow before he attempted to look in your direction, and when he did, you saw sparks of his usual vibrancy. It gradually returned as he held your gaze. You were thinking that your presence seemed to help bring him back to feeling like himself again. I mean it. There's a delay, you monster. That's why I gave you an additional 3 seconds. Aren't I so kind and generous to you? Darn, can't immediately twirl your hair to keep trying to steal Derek from his little brothers forever. I know you do. Thanks, Rain. Evening his breath, Derek folded his arms across his chest and squeezed his eyelids shut. You could tell by the tension in his face that he was still bothered. He was thinking hard, searching for something. I can make this work. His low mumble was followed by a pause that had you intrigued. And then he jumped forward so that he was sitting upright again. The grin you were so used to seeing was back in full force. I like Space's answer on that one. And then he jumped. Nope, I read that. Rain, we're going back to the pool. Nobody's going to be there this late, and my bros are not going to be able to leave the house. We don't have to get in or even change clothes. I think it'd just be kind of a nice place to talk and that sort of thing. Avoiding your gaze, Derek nervously rubbed the back of his head. You could tell that he was trying his hardest to be nonchalant, but he wasn't exactly succeeding. Your mouth pulled into a wide conspiratorial grin. The longer you thought about his plan, the more you liked it. All right! Derek leapt to his feet and turned, holding a hand for you to take. Take his hand. Teehee. Y'all want another censored? Absolutely. Absolutely. Grip his hand. Derek squeezed your hand and helped you to your feet. Let's go. The door slowly creaked open as Derek peeked out. Double-checking that the coast was actually clear, he gave you a thumbs up. I don't see Nicholas. I think we're good. You returned his thumbs up, silently hoping that this wasn't the calm before the storm. Derek led you to the living room where he found his dad and George sitting on the couch together. Hello, Mom has Nicholas in his room, enraptured in another exciting session of story time. Good. Rain and I are going to go down to the pool to hang out. Is that okay?
Of course.
He chuckled, knowing exactly what Derek was trying to accomplish. George was perfectly happy where he was with his dad, so he waved goodbye to you both. Censored. It's so perfect when you say it. You have such a way with words. Don't keep Rain out too late. I won't, thanks, Dad. Derek whispered with complete confidence. You gave your appreciation in an equally hushed tone. Thank you, Mr. Suarez. The last thing either of you wanted was to alert the youngest Suarez that anything fun was happening without his knowledge, so you both silently slipped out of the apartment. Once you were free from the condo's walls, Derek's excitement was palpable. You picked up the pace and raced to the pool's gate. Cove in the back. Hold on. Gotta make it accurate for each background. All right, there we go. All right. Once you were free from the condo's walls, Derek's excitement was palpable. You picked up the pace and ran to the pool gate. Gotta redo everything. Hold on. How do I... Wait. No, wait. There we go. Found it. Welcome, guy on YouTube. Welcome in. Alright, Cove is stalking us from over there now. I gotta fix this for every single background. Cove standing on Nicholas's shoulder to be able to see that high. Yep. We won't question how he did that. We're not gonna question how he's standing that high. Under the night, the pool was completely aglow with lights set into the bottom. The bright blue struck you as inviting breaths of steam drifted off the top of the water, whispering how warm it was. Is it a heated pool? The closed-in space was clear of any other people, and it had been like that for a while, considering the stillness of the pool. Not a single ripple disrupted its aquamarine surface. Here you'd have peace and privacy. I can speak well. Watch me speak well. All right. Make Cove stand in the tallest building. The problem is that I don't know how to, okay, I pressed the wrong thing. How to, tilt this. Nope, that's the whole screen. That was the whole screen. Okay, that didn't work. Yeah, that's not gonna work. All right, he's just there. He's just there now. He's up there now. All right. He snapped. Okay, Derek was drawn to the water like a moth to the flame. I'm sorry. 1 second. I skipped that on accident. Alright, Derek was drawn to the water like a moth to a flame. He wordlessly rolled up his jeans and tugged off his sneakers and socks, then dunked his feet into the pool, up to the middle of his calf. He stretched and wiggled his bare toes in the comfortable embrace of the heated pool on a summer night. You joined Derek at the edge. Obviously, we're also getting into the water. You removed your shoes and let your feet soak into the pool. It was as pleasant as its sparkling appearance promised. The water had none of the slight chill that the air did. It was a perfect amount of heat. Derek wrapped both his hands around the smooth tile edge and tilted back. One of his legs kicked up as his back drifted down, like his upper and lower body were each on the side like a seesaw. He grinned playfully at you. So, what are we talking about? Oh, teehee, I don't remember. What do you want to talk about? Oh, well, it's not your fault. He solemnly brought his torso back up until he was hunched over the water. He stared down at it. All his lightheartedness had disappeared in an instant. This kind of makes the whole interruption thing even more sucky, though. There wasn't any heart in it, but Derek managed to chuckle. Sorry for making my problems your problems. He dug his fingers into the side of his hair, scratching at it in frustration. I don't even know what my problem is. They came in my room for 5 seconds. I'm so dramatic. Hey now. It's okay. Hold on, gotta adjust Cove a little bit so he's like peeking over. There we go. Alright, let's see. It's not dramatic. It wasn't the only thing that happened today. Nicholas is dramatic, you're mild. Oh no, he knows we're stupid. I mean, is that like really that much of a secret? Leaning closer. Oh, I didn't even see that. You're right. Your gaze focused firmly on Derek. Derek shifted his body partly away from your attention, but he didn't ignore it. Derek crossed his arms tightly and pressed them against the top of his legs. The blue water ripped around him as his legs moved against the pool wall. He pressed his heels into it. The pressure that had been only in the inside was coming out. It's just, the thing is, Nicholas and George need me all the time, and my parents need me because they need me. I don't want to let them down, I really don't, but it's hard. Every day it's like I'm going to mess up and disappoint somebody. He bit his tongue and released his limbs from the locked position they'd been stuck in. He couldn't scrub the furrow away from his brows. Forget it. Everyone has stuff to worry about. It's not just me. Mom... Oh, voice dying. Oh, I almost died. All right. Needed that tea. I'm gonna need a water break here in a bit. And a food break. Oh my god, I'm so hungry. Okay, almost 3 hours. Almost 3 hours for one of these episodes. You know what this sounds like? He doesn't want kids. No need for boarding school. All right. Where was I? Yeah, right. Mom has to take care of them way more than I do, and Dad works a part-time job pretty much the entire day. Let's see. I admire you. That's good. I like that. We're building up our romance. Censored! That's right. I'll go with what you said. I don't know why. He went silent, unmoved. Nicholas was the one who caused trouble, but somehow Derek had made himself the bad guy. It was upsetting, but Derek wasn't anywhere close to really being a grown-up. Of course he couldn't be perfect, even though he acted like he thought he should be. Derek, remember when your dad first came to the pool, and you, George, and Nicholas were all so excited? You were just like your brothers. Even if you're in charge sometimes, you're still your parents' kid. You don't have to act like an adult, especially not with me. Finally, slowly and carefully, Derek dared to glance at you again. Thanks, Rain, for saying all that. His shoulders squished inward to frame his lowered head. He looked so much like a hopeful puppy that he could give even Nicholas a run for his money in that adorable face department. It really doesn't bother you that I complain, and sometimes hanging out with me means hanging out with my 2 other kids. For all the confidence Derek displayed, when push came to shove, he was pretty insecure about himself and what you thought of him. Let's see. Not at all complain away. Or not as long as you minded me complain about Elizabeth too. Derek, I love hanging out with you no matter what. That's the one. That's the one. Derek showed his full face to you. It was all lit up with the light shining through the water. The smile on his face was just as glittering. I don't ever want to be a pain, but it's really cool to have a friend. That hurt. That hurt. Cove recommends this option. To have a friend who doesn't mind listening to me and being there. He didn't say that lightly. He only wanted to let himself be there for you and everyone else. Being somebody Derek could count on was special. You wouldn't let him down. Then his eyebrows furrowed mischievously, and just like that, he catapulted right off the tile edge and into the pool. You gasped as if you were the one suddenly got plunged into the water. Derek burst through the surface with a loud, gasping laugh. The water's great! Where's our option to jump in? Oh. Anyway, how wonderful! Yep. Everything's gonna be good, Rain. I'm not an adult. That was true. Very true. Very, very true. Friend zone, no, it's true. We got friend zone. It happens every once in a while. It's just things we have to deal with. Anyway, we pushed ourselves into the pool after him. In an instant, you were hit with an explosion of bubbles as you sunk down into the water. You waited until you felt the pool floor and then kicked off of it and propped your head out of the water. Woo! Derek pumped both his fists into the air. His black wristbands dropped further down by his hands, heavy from being soaked. The two of you paddled through the water together. The added weight of your clothes had you both winded pretty quick. That only amused Derek more. Laughter and sloshing water brought the once stagnant pool to life. You and Derek still had the place to yourself and made the absolute most of it. But eventually Derek crawled up the stairs out of the pool. His baggy clothes poured out mini waterfalls with every step he took on land. Derek looked especially tiny, with his drenched jersey draped over his frame. He waited there at the top of the steps for you to catch up, being the dripping gentleman he was. You held the rail, and with each step onto the shore, you felt the weight of your soaked clothes pressing down on you more. You got a thumbs up from Derek when you made your way out. Then he carefully tipped his head to the side and tapped his hands against his ears to get the water out. Okay, hold on, wait, I gotta adjust this real fast. He's, no, over here, I liked this. He's looking over the railing. There we go. Alright. In the pool, yep. Just like we can turn Cove into a yandere, we can turn Derek into an immature bum. Yeah! Alright. Alright, time to face the music. Having to go home dampened Derek's mood far more than the water on his body. He could do anything here in the wide open pool with you as his only companion. Going back to his family came with countless expectations and responsibilities, but it still had to be done. Yeah. You gave a small nod, readying yourself for whatever might happen when you arrive at the Suarez condo. Without another word, you collected your shoes and left the little oasis. We held each other's hands. His slippery fingers gripped you as tightly as they could. When you made it to the front door, just Cove floating in the sky. He's just, hold on. Hold on. It's just floating off into the clouds. Ooh. We'll leave him here. He's spying behind the cloud. Okay. You know, like friends do. Exactly. We hold hands like friends do. The sound you hear is Cove screaming so loudly that he has achieved flight. That's right. Cove is the moon. That sounds like the beginning of a romance poem. Censored. Exactly. Derek stood there in front of the unlocked door, just staring at it. Practical preparation was his forte. Making himself ready for bumps and relationships was not. It'll be okay. I'm sure it will. Yeah. He took in a huge breath through his nose and turned the knob. Okay, hold on. I gotta replace Cove. What? Whoops. There we go. Okay, what did I miss? Alright, the living room was quiet when you went inside. George and Mrs. Suarez had moved over to the kitchen. Mr. Suarez had moved over to the kitchen and were busy putting together a puzzle. Mr. Suarez's shoulders blocked your view, so you couldn't see what the picture was supposed to be. Mrs. Suarez and Nicholas were nowhere in sight. You guessed they were still in the younger boy's bedroom. It was strange not to have someone cheer and shout when Derek walked through the door. There was a feeling of absence. When the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie, that's a hold-in. We're back. He announced himself with an absolute lack of enthusiasm. He might as well have been calling off bingo numbers to an empty room. Mr. Suarez lifted his head and turned to face the both of you. At the same time, he eagerly pushed his chair away from the counter. I see. Thank you for coming home. The greeting he gave was so normal that it was weird, considering how you and Derek each brought a bucket full of water absorbed into your clothes. George offered a typical family greeting of his own, not taking his eyes off the puzzle. He was either focused or avoiding the awkwardness.
Welcome back.
Derek silently poked a bare big toe onto the prickly entryway doormat. The mess Derek's foot was making was too much for the little mat to contain. Water leaked out from the edges. Derek's attempt to face his family was going equally smoothly. Hold on, that's bothering me. I need to There. Okay, now it's not bothering me. There. Fixed it. The bright pleasantries on Mr. Suarez's face softened into warmth. He followed through on the motion as he started and got out of his chair. Man, I am not having great reading comprehension today. He crossed the living room to stand with the two of you at the front door. My hardworking son is always in demand, Our family needs to learn how to share, especially Nicholas. Maybe Derek's dad can teach us how to do it to him. The last part was said with a little chuckle. Derek didn't smile from the compliment, but he did start to blush.
Excuse me.
Excuse us. A new voice came from the hall. Mrs. Suarez stood there, with her hands on her hips. Peeking out from behind the skirt of her dress was a distinct spiky nest of brown hair. Now that you're here, someone has something he wants to say to his big brother. Her words got George to actually turn away from the puzzle and watch the scene, but Nicholas remained hidden. Her encouragement wasn't enough. As always, he was waiting for Derek. You didn't need to tell Derek that, though. He knew it far better than you. He shifted his weight to his feet and gave Nicholas an invitation. Okay then, what do you want to say? Nicholas darted out from behind his mom, with enough speed to flutter her dress. His tiny feet thundered over the floor until he came to an abrupt stop, right at the front of his favorite person. He had to lean his head all the way back to look into Derek's eyes. Derek looked down to meet his gaze. Nicholas resisted the urge to hug him, and instead clutched at the collar of his own shirt. I'm sorry, that's your room. From how Nicholas struggled to explain his apology, it was obvious he wasn't at the point where he understood why being together at all times wasn't a complete fantastic idea. Fixed it. I'm fixing your art space. Maybe Derek's dad can teach us how to... Yep, I read that. Everyone likes male Night Furies, but no one likes female Night Furies. I don't think that's it. I just think we all kind of lean to it for some reason. All that had gotten through was that he'd upset his brother, and that had in turn upset him. Nicholas bit his lip and moved his hands to pull at the bottom of his shirt instead of the top. The best he could come up with was simply repeating himself. You're the one that keeps moving him willy-nilly. Yeah, I'm fixing him. Votes were cast initially for female Night Furies. Yep, that's true. I didn't veto it. I did not veto it. I just looked over and saw what was being said and then said whatever.
Sorry.
Derek's lips quirked just a bit as he patiently listened to his little brother. You should say sorry to her too. Rain helped a lot today too. Nicholas instantly twisted his head towards you and echoed the word. He was very serious. Sorry, Rain. Thank you, Nicholas. Nicholas hopped up on the pads of his feet as a nervous but hopeful energy came from him. Your reaction was the first positive sign he'd gotten. The smallest Suarez glanced between you and Derek unsurely. He let his shirt go and balled his fists and hands into fists. I'm sorry, Derek. I'm sorry, Rain. Nicholas put everything he had into willingly whatever problem he'd caused to being fixed and into people not feeling bad anymore. The emotional display of regret moved someone in the room to speak.
I'm sorry.
Derek snorted a laugh at the unexpectedness of the introduction. What did you even do? I don't know. The middle child looked down at the puzzle in front of him again, but he was staring through the pieces as if they weren't there. Let's see. Well, this is a family of boys, so it makes sense they would pick male Night Furies. Yeah, I could see that too. I saw a comment on the stream of someone saying about dating sims that reminds me of one time I said, what if GB Patch made a dating sim where you can date Cove's mom and dad? Yeah. I can imagine putting Derek's parents. Yeah, put them into. Make a dating sim of the parents. He murmured just barely loud enough to hear where you were standing. You and Rain had to watch me today too. Derek's hesitancy completely crumbled, and his usual familial dynamic came back in full force. Aw, George, you don't have to apologize for that. I like to have some time by myself or with my friends, but I never want to stop having my little bros. Nicholas's massively wide eyes sparkled. For the first time since they were reunited, he carefully reached out to Derek and gripped his soaking wet jeans. Derek reached down to gently pat his baby brother's head, as he did probably every day. Neither boy cared that this time the hand was damp. Instead, they both smiled at the other with unwavering affection. No matter what fissions happened, it was inevitable that it would end that way because they both loved their family equally and deeply. Another person took a turn to cut in as Mr. Suarez spoke up with vigor. Hour 3! Yeah, this is a long chapter. I was just like, oh, it'll just take like the same amount as the rest of the chapters. I guess the DLC chapters take longer. Because usually these chapters are only about an hour to 2 hours.
Let's race.
Derek, Rain, let's race! What? Derek chuckled at your confusion and switched his head pat into a full-on hair ruffle. Nicholas's giggle excitedly along with his brother. Dad is asking us to play a video game. An old kart racer he likes. Mario Kart, let's go! A lot of chatting too. Always a lot of chatting. But it's usually about an hour to 2 hours with me talking a lot. Yes, I talk a lot. Okay, we get it. I talk a lot. I have a big mouth. I don't stop. Anyways. Yes, and I will win it. Derek's dad cheerfully tacked that on. It couldn't be forgotten easily. George could be player 4. Mrs. Suarez was the only one who truly kept her distance during the reconciliation between Derek and Nicholas, but now she joined the rest of the family. When she was close enough to you and Derek to whisper, she pressed a hand to the corner of her mouth and winked conspiratorially. I'll give Nico an unplugged controller. Derek grinned at that point and shifted into giving the longest strands of Nicholas's hair a friendly tug, but he didn't accept the invite immediately. He included you in the discussion. What do you think, Rain? No, what do you think? He nodded at you and turned to answer his father. All right, let's race. Derek's mom encouraged you and Derek with her words and Nicholas with her hands, taking him by the shoulders. This time, she wouldn't be letting him get away from her. Let's see. You spent 40 minutes talking nonsense before Derek even showed up. Yes! That was very important. For you, space, for you. It's all for you. I mean for chat too. Didn't mean it was bad. Yeah, true. Who will Derek's mom and dad... What will they look like? I'm bad at this game. I'm bad at it. You know what to do, chat. It's awful. I'm cracking down. No. Go get changed. We'll plug it in so it's ready by the time you get back. Rain, you're welcome to use my or Mrs. Suarez's pajamas if Derek doesn't have anything for you to borrow. It'll be big, but it's better than nothing. Thanks, Mom. Derek's mood continued to be buoyed by the support of his parents, and he left to go get changed while walking as lightly as he could in his wet clothes. You followed the watery footsteps as he left behind to dry off too. He did a quick change while you waited for a towel, with the towel wrapped around you to minimize your clothes dripping. The only reason was because censored was so censored. Exactly. There we go. Whoops, what's happening over here? Why did it move? Hold on. Nope, I read that. Okay, cool. He came out of his room wearing black sweats and a matching top. Now that he wasn't spilling water wherever he went, he offered to get you something to wear. Derek rattled off what kind of pajamas his family had on hand. He apologized twice for the fact that he was so much shorter than you and had nothing you could fit in. Love how the game acknowledges it. But Space, you didn't have time to draw an Oliver chibi? That's true, you didn't! How could you miss the most important boy of all? Alright, you reassured him that it wasn't his fault. You were the one who chose to get wet when you didn't have an extra pair of your own clothes. Ultimately, let's see. We'll do the button down. It was extremely baggy, considering the design. It was more proper looking than most other types of PJs. The melted way it looked on you was extra funny. What mattered most was that you were finally warm and dry. Your skin still had lingering goosebumps from your dip in the pool. Derek gave you a friendly thumbs up. He was nothing but polite about your outfit situation. He bundled up the pile of wet clothes and carried them off to the laundry. He spoke over his shoulder as he walked as fast as he could, with dripping clothes in his arms. I'll get your stuff back the next time I visit, okay? Okay. As promised, the Suarez's dark purple GameCube. The GameCube. I miss you so. I still have mine, actually. I can still play the GameCube when I want. Fix that a bit. Yeah. Perfect. Purple GameCube was fully connected with 4 controllers plugged in by the time you and Derek strolled into the living room wearing your new digs. Maybe I did draw an Oliver chibi, maybe sharing it costs extra. How could you put Oliver behind a paywall? Cove getting ready to give you the clothes off his A familiar shout filled the whole room. All was right in the world. So excited. Yep, Nico, I'm here. Mr. Suarez was on the carpet, with Nicholas in her lap. She'd already passed him a controller, and he was having a blast pressing the clicky buttons, despite the fact they did nothing except make a little noise. Aww. George and Mr. Suarez took seats on the couch. George tucked himself closely against his father, so the two were only taking up one side. The other half on the couch was reserved for you and Derek. Derek dove into the spot next to George. He got settled in nicely against the plush back of the couch and folded his legs up across the cushion. You got in the final place and relaxed against the armrest. Ah, look at that controller. George passed one controller to Derek, which Derek gave to you, and then he handed over a second, which Derek kept. Mr. Suarez filled you in on the decision he and his second son had made. Let's see. Can I see it? I won't show Angie. Hey now! Trying to gatekeep my cat from me? Let's see. I bet once he draws censored, he will put censored behind a paywall. No! No paywalls! Boot up Smash Bros. And ruin his happy scene for them. Yeah! Smash Bros. Brawl. Let's see. The problem is that Oliver is so cute that you would have to draw several in different poses. That's true. You gotta get all his angles. A legally distinct GameCube controller. Hello, Oliver. Welcome back. Did you hear your name and come in? All right.
What do you think?
Junior and I are on one team. You and Rain can play together. What do you think? Derek tilted his head your way. He lifted his shoulders and added on to his dad's briefing. It's a double racer. One drives, the other controls items. No option to be like, I want to play with your dad instead. All right. I love that game. Me too. It's me and you then. The deal was sealed. Packs had been made. George perked up and shook Mr. Suarez's arm. Hey Dad, we're Team Suarez. Yes, we are. Derek's fingers were on the buttons, and he was leaning over. As he was leaning over, he crossed his legs in anticipation for the game to begin. He replied, unbothered. Cool for you guys. Team Sky is a force to be reckoned with. Aw, he's already using our last name. All 4 players, marking up the 2 teams, chose their characters, carts, positions, and the track set. To start, Derek and Mr. Suarez were driving. You and George had item launching duty. Why did that take so long to get out? Derek takes our last name. Confirmed. Confirmed. 3, 2, 1. The carts launched across the starting lanes, with both drivers getting an extra boost. Team Sky and Team Suarez were off down the colorful jungle road. F him up, Derek! You can do this! Team Sky for the win! There would be 3 laps before the race was over. Lap 1 was a frantic race for the top spot. The carts were neck and neck, neck and neck to each other, every hill and around each curve, neither getting ahead or falling behind. Attacks were constantly exchanged and buttons were pressed at rapid speeds. That included Nicholas as he watched the race and tried to use his controller the way everyone else was. You wondered which part of the game he thought he was impacting. By lap 2, Team Sky had taken a strong lead. Almost nothing from the Suarez camp could reach your cart. Once he passed the line to start lap 3, Derek was cocky enough to bring out the smack talk. I thought you were gonna win, Dad. Mr. Suarez's expression was perfectly content. More than that, it was serene. And it was with that calm face, Derek's father carefully reached across George, and then in a blink of an eye, locked his large hand around the comparatively tiny controller Derek held. Wait, this is interference! This is interference! That's not fair! Hold on! Hey! The cart you and Derek shared went out of control, careening off the dirt path into a pit. You had to wait for the game to fish you out and place you back on the road. Team Suarez rolled on right past. See? I'm winning now. Derek's dad was boldly unapologetic. He grinned like a child who just found out you could get a hole-in-one at putt-putt golf if you just drop the ball in the hole. Censored. Hey now. Not that kind of language here. We have children present. Oh no, he's doing it to him. He is! I have to go because I have to turn off my phone, but I will watch the rest of the stream on TV. Alright, have a good night. See ya, Okapi. Alright. Let's see. You're cheating now! Derek sputtered with laughter, made of equal parts amusement and disbelief. He yanked his arms towards his chest to fight for freedom, but Mr. Suarez's grip was unmovable. We're running interference, huh? From a distance, Mrs. Suarez mused over the situation that had begun to unfold. Her husband stole a look at where she'd been sitting. She was gone, leaving only Nicholas on the floor. Mr. Suarez lifted one thick eyebrow and pressed the other lower. He could only puzzle over what it might mean, until it all became clear by the world going dark for him only. Derek's mom had crawled over behind the couch, popped up from behind, and slipped her fingers under Mr. Suarez's glasses. He was caught completely off guard. That's right! That's right! His father started from the shock of a surprise attack that wasn't committed by himself. Yeah, Mom! Derek had gotten his controller back. Mr. Suarez was stubborn in his hold, but his dad was just as incapacitated as a driver. Yeah, Mom! An echo of Derek's cheer came from behind. All the excitement in the air had stirred in a fire in Nicholas. He wasn't just playing with an off controller anymore. He crawled on all fours at a rapid pace until he reached the couch and launched himself right at his dad's stomach. Yeah! Bring in the steel chair! Oh, the great bouncing act. It was powerful enough that Mr. Suarez sprung forward and Mrs. Suarez's hand were yanked off him. Oof. But Derek's controller was finally freed. Mr. Suarez had to let go of both controllers to catch his squirming child. Nicholas would not be contained. He climbed up over his dad's shoulders and wrapped his arms around Mr. Suarez's face. In sweet justice, the Team Suarez cart flew off the bridge into the abyss below. Yeah! Yeah, Nicholas! George placed his own controller in his lap with a shake of his head and a smirk. Team Suarez wasn't winning this race. Derek rolled his shoulders and poked a tongue out of the corner of his mouth in concentration. He was back in business. The Team Sky Cart course-corrected and raced towards the finish line at the final lap. The youngest Suarez hugged all four of his limbs around his dad, even tighter from the thrill of seeing Derek speed his car around the track. Yeah! Items weren't needed now, but you were just as invested in watching your cart make the last stretch, and Derek brought it home, crossing the finish line. We won! Derek threw his fists into the air, pumped them back down to his chest, and turned to you with his palm held out for you to smack. Hug, 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 hug. You watching this, Cove? You watching this? Hold on. He's looming over us. You ignored the hand and flung your arms around his neck. He squeezed you back, pressing his face into your shoulder. You were victorious. We won! Nicholas sent his arms up towards the sky, a perfect imitation of his eldest brother. Mr. Suarez used the opportunity to collect his son from off his shoulders and place Nicholas into his lap. He pet his son's hair as he laughed breathlessly, but full of joy. Shyly cover your face, show Cove what he'll never have. You flustered. Whoa. See, Nicholas, he's mine now. Oh my god. Hey, Oliver, what you doing down there? I feel him at my feet. Alright. Okay. I lost. Next race. Next race. This time, Derek repeated the phrase, still raring to go. But that was naturally followed by the original copycat. Nicholas clapped gleefully and snuggled up against the seat of his father's chest. Next race! George picked up his abandoned controller once more. His voice was quieter, but no less sincere. Yeah, next race. In all the commotion, you'd completely forgotten you could have switched to the driver role to take over for Derek at any time. George could have too for his dad, but you were glad it went the way it did. Team Sky got its win with the assistance of Team Pile Drivers, Nicholas and Mrs. Suarez. And the game was just getting started. Next race! You couldn't help joining the pattern. It got big smiles from the family. Well, now this is a real party. There's still pizza in the fridge. Who wants leftovers? Always. I want pizza right now. I want food. Someone buy me food. The suggestion of food riled Nicholas up even more. He clambered over his dad's shoulders for the second time, tucking on his beard and accidentally knocking his glasses off. Mr. Suarez wheezed out a chuckle. Nicholas stared out from the couch into the kitchen. He wanted that pizza, but couldn't be the first to ask. I do!
Same.
Me too. George and Mr. Suarez chimed in with their own request. Can I have some, Mom? I would like some pizza, my beloved wife who never turns against me. Oh my god, I love him. She snickered with a glint in her eyes. Of course, start the game. I'll heat it up. All four of the Suarez men spoke in unison. Thanks, Mom. Thank you too. You're welcome. The players all resumed their position and took up their tools, slightly sweaty GameCube controllers. When the second race started, the grin on Derek's face was one of the most radiant you'd seen the whole day. His dad, mom, and brothers, too, really knew how to make Derek happy. That brought a smile to your face, too. From getting a window into Derek's life, and from what you knew from your own, spending every day with the same people could take a lot of patience, but there were a lot of perks, too. Your time at the Suarez household ended with family, food, and fun. There wasn't much more you could have asked for. We made it through one of them. 1 of 5. 1 of 5 down. I'm not doing the rest tonight. I have to go. I have so much work I have to do. I haven't eaten dinner. I haven't gotten anything done. I have 2 videos due. I have to get stuff ready for Sunday for that 100 sub special. There's so much that has to be done, guys. So, if you didn't hear that already, I will be having my 100 subscriber special on Sunday. Details of what time and everything you can find on the schedule I posted in the community tab. Thank you all so much for tonight. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed playing this. Cove will just stare at you looming. Hold on. Let me fix this one last time tonight. Just Cove. All right. So, like always, love you lots. Thank you all for coming tonight. And I will see you guys Wednesday for Lobotomy Corporation, or Saturday for Hollow Knight, or at my subscriber special, which you have to go to. You're all required. It's required reading material. Come to my event. All right. Thank you all so much. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.